Blessings, blessings, blessings. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to each and every last one of you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Tbttv. Over here, this channel was created by like-minded individuals. They come together, we brainstorm. We are brain thinkers. We are thinkers. We come together, we just come off the dome, we talk, we discuss everything. Nothing is ever off the table. We discuss everything. So anyway, when you come in, please hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe to our channel. Therefore, when we go live, you will get the notification. Shout out to all my moderators. I got Kish in the house, Trey Lynn. Let me see who all in the house tonight. Shout out first and foremost to my fellas, Mr. Bass, holding the content down. Okay, shout out to Louisa. Shout out to Corey. Blessings to you, Corey. Alrighty. Blessings to everyone. So once again, shout out to my moderators. Shout out to everyone who has joined us again on another night. Blessings to each and every last one of you. I ask that you all sit back, enjoy the content that's bring forth peace, love, and blessings to all. First up, I see you, kids. Blessings. First up, well, only up, I got my boy, Mr. Bass. Mr. Bass, what's up, love?
Peace and blessings. Look like we're here alone tonight.
That's cool with me.
It's all good. All right, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to everybody. We appreciate you joining us tonight, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, hit the bell icon so that you can be notified when we go live. We're looking forward to your comments tonight.
Blessings. How was your day today, Mr. Bass?
Oh, I can't complain. I guess got plenty of rest and we took care of a little bit of business and house, you know.
Well, all I can say is I just relaxed. I didn't catch a nap, but I just laid there and relaxed. I just relaxed my body and just relaxed. That's all I did for the couple of hours that I was at home. I just relaxed my body. And no rest, but I'm going to get it in tonight.
I know that's right.
I got a long day tomorrow as well, so yeah. But it's well. I ain't complaining. I'm not complaining, but I'm going to talk to you all also again. I'm going to finish the conversation again on tomorrow. Excuse me. So that's what I am going to do on tomorrow, Mr. Bass. I am going to get with my son-in-law so that we can communicate and come up with what I was discussing with you all earlier about the crypto and all of that. So I'm going to let you all know, and I'm going to see a way that we're going to do it. Probably create another Discord so all that want to become involved, they can become involved to be able to do all of those things and prepare a lot of people for the next level.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I own a little bit of crypto. Not much.
You do?
But yeah, I got a little bit in there.
Okay, so who do you use?
I got Bitcoin through Cash App, and then Coinbase is where I got my Dodge coin.
Okay. Also try to get into Nano Ledger.
Oh, that Nano Ledger.
Nano
Yeah,
Ledger.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm familiar with that. That's so you can privately store your
Yes.
crypto. Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. So it's best to get the X. It's best to get the X because it holds a lot more. So yeah, we gonna talk about that. So that's the next move moving forward. And also going over the list. Remember the list about almost a year back that I had given you all to tell you all pertaining to stockpiles. We're
The
gonna
stock.
start up. Yeah. So we're gonna start over with that again. We're gonna just start preparing. We're gonna put together something so that we can start preparing and move into the next level. I told you when I hear things, I just start writing. So as I discussed with you and Lillian earlier, um, what I said, moving from the banks, and we're gonna discuss it. So, anywho, it's gonna be very interesting. So, y'all, shout out to everybody in the comment section. Blessings to all my moderators. I see my girl, Traylene in the house. Kish, Vivi ain't dropped in yet. She might be still asleep. But anywho, shout out to everyone. Shout out to the subscribers, the one who has subscribed to the channels, to the channel. Blessings, peace, and love to each and every last one of you all. So, Mr. Bass, you ready to drop this content, love?
Yes, ma'am. Ready to go.
All righty, let's go, because I'm going to be snacking and drinking on the back end.
We are following other people's opinions. We are controlled by the media. And today it all changes. We need to think how to think free. We need to be free thinkers. Then we need to learn how to feel free. People say feel free, but we don't even know how to feel free or think free. Say what you feel, positive or negative, grounded in reality. This reality has been forced upon us. It is a choice. Just like when I said slavery is a choice. The reality, we can make our own reality. We can talk about history, but not too long. We need to talk about our now because we can fix and start loving each other now. But the thing is, we have the resources on this planet to have a human utopia, to have respect for each other, mankind. We have that. But we're too concerned about getting the next Hollywood film to Netflix. We have the resources. There's new billionaires every day. You apply the right type of thinkers, like the Elon Musk, the people with the real ideas. Like, politics is dead. It's over with. Politics, like, these kids need some type of real truth. I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna influence and I'm just gonna be me the fullest. Because it's also with my approach, it's a certain point of a level of like frustration because waiting for everyone to agree may take too long. I'm not gonna sit inside of a corporation for 20 years. The time is now. The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you. Your entire life is a test. And when did you have the most anxiety in grammar school and high school? No question. On test day. So your entire life become this test. I ain't trying to say the right answer. I am just doing what I feel. My mama said trying is failing. There is no ifs, woulds, coulds, shoulds. It just is. And we just are. And it is so. It's simple. And this mentality should not be defeated. Yea, cannot die. Yea, cannot be buried. There is nothing. As a matter of fact, no enemy. The enemy is a concept that's out. Before I found Christ and gave my life to God, I would try to lean on my own understanding. And that's the universe is like a black hole of information. What do you mean by your own understanding? Meaning, when people asked Einstein, said, you're the smartest person, what would you like to know? Einstein's response was, I'd like to understand the mind of God. Meaning God is all-knowing, and we can only know or see. And for me as a visionary, we can only know or see what God allows us to see and what he feels we're ready to see and understand to maximize what our Maslow's hierarchy of need chart is. What sets our dopamines, what sets our serotonins off, what makes us feel good. Basically, like, we did a good deed And it's like, it was somehow, just doing a beat for a local dope rapper really meant a lot to me when I was 14 years old. Doing a beat for just anyone famous that had a major record deal was a lot to me at age 19. Me being able to, put out my own music, and that was a lot to me at age 24, meaning as I grow, God sets new stages in the game of life for me that you get your satisfaction. Like Maslow's hierarchy of need is like our satisfaction chart. What makes us feel whole and accomplished as a human being? So as I go through these different levels, there's times where I would use confidence when I knew what I was doing, and I would use arrogance when I didn't know what I was doing. But I'd rather use arrogance than to let someone diminish my idea of myself, because that is what keeps us going. Hope actually keeps us alive. Anybody you ask, most people, is like, do you want tomorrow to come? And they say yes, they have hope for it. But I went from having confidence and arrogance to having faith, and faith is the opposite of fear. And that created this fearless approach that I have, and that's what now has made me the fearless leader that I am, that I've like crystallized into the leader that my mom always knew I would be when kids followed me in preschool, the leader that people saw when we changed the sound of music. I like when Jay-Z said, show you how to move in a room full of vultures. Isn't that like, you don't really have to change who you are and start saying, I'm going to be this nigga, I'm going to be that. You know what I'm saying? Just know you can't let people use you or misuse you. Life is about using people, though. Just don't misuse them. I mean, just in life, if you like the type of music and you listen to it all the time, why not follow your heart? Why not follow what makes you happy? I remember when the song the movie American Werewolf in Paris came out, and it had the theme song, I think it was by Blur. Nothing hurts like your mouth. And like me and my friends used to love that song so much. And it's like we weren't supposed to like the song or something because of where we were from. But we like songs like So Kiss Me Under the Moon Starlight. Like all these songs are just these incredible melodies from the 80s and from the 90s. A lot of the 90s stuff. People keep on saying 80s, but they were like, Mr. Jones and me. All these sweeping melodies and Nirvana and shit like that. And I'm like, I really love music, and I love to sing these songs, and I can make music. So why not just make music? The greatest thing that a man has to give to anyone, whether it's their kids, whether it's their wife, is time. And how much time do we spend, chasing the American dream or chasing money and materialistic things? How much time do we actually give to the women and children? And that's what this album, more so than, what type of music, the way I chose to express it, that message is what people need to leave with the most, I think. There's a balance of family and calling that I specifically have. I have to protect and take care of my family and make sure, with the power that God has put in my hand, that I do everything that I can as the father to provide the best chance at them being the maximum success that they can be. I think people focus too much on the past and focus too much on regret. Even like when you deal with schools, like you take like the slave idea. My point is, I've heard of history class. I've never heard of a class that breaks down how you balance a checkbook or how you control your finances, which my father never taught me that. And I've never heard of a future class. So they keep us so focused on history that we start to believe that it actually repeats itself. And we become overly traditional, and we can't advance as a race of beings. We get too caught up in the past and what everyone's saying, what everyone's tweeting. And sometimes you just have to be fearless enough to break the simulation. I refuse to follow those rules that society is set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem, with improper information, with branding, with marketing. I refuse to follow those rules. It's about truth. It's about information. It's about awesomeness. And the only luxury is time, the time you spend with your family. That's the only luxury. So this concept, a lot of people say, okay, well, you have to do music. I'm going to keep doing music. But what if people told me I couldn't rap? What would have happened? What if people told me I couldn't perform? I have other goals and other things, and I'm going to use my platform, every platform, to stand up and say, I want to make something. I want to make the next Ralph Lauren. That was the point of the Zayn interview. They say people don't stand up and protect their dreams. People are too scared of getting, spoofed in a way.
All right, and so Mr. Bates, what you think about everything that he was saying? So he describes himself as a visionary, right? And by him describing himself as a visionary means that he had visions and he see. And as we played on the show, I think it was yesterday or the day before that, when he actually established and there was a clip that he had that we played when he discussed and talked about years leading up into 2023. It was some visions that he had spoke that pretty much came to pass. What you think about that?
I just, that conversation right there, or that statement, the statements that he made, just let you know how sane he is and how he's determined in his heart to make things happen.
Yeah, for the people to wake up. It's like he's so passionate about it. And to be honest, I'm gonna tell you something, like, people have to understand. I also was like that, Mr. Bass. When I became highly conscious of knowing a lot that I had been researching, also what God had been speaking to me, what He had been showing me, it was like I was like, oh no. It was so much and overwhelming. I had to pull back for a minute. Once you realize and see all the lies and everything that is within this world, it's like that's why God said to be in this world and not of it. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was like I had this passion to drill what I was learning and had learned and what God had spoken to me. It was like it was this passion burning inside to tell the people, like, hey, y'all listen, this, and people thinking I'm crazy. And I'm like, it's just a passion that you get with on the inside to want to tell your people, to help them see what you see. Because the things that you see, it's like, it's very traumatizing. Like, one would go crazy if they don't pull away from it for a minute, or to really just understand like what in the world is going on. Like, when you really realize that you have lived every day of your life a lie. Like, there is no truth. There is no truth. It's like, okay, everything that you've always known, what you once known, everything has been a lie.
Yeah, and that's why Kanye is getting so much flack for the statements that he made, because he's making things known that have previously been hidden, and these folks don't want him talking. They don't want this information get out there, and they the Jewish Defamation League, they got it so that anything said on the internet about the so-called Jews, because it's more about the real Hebrews. So
True
who are
that.
the Hebrews? You know what I mean?
True
So
that. True that. So I mean, Mr. Bass, one cannot go against the word, though, Mr. Bass. I mean, once you, if you know what you know, and you know the word, and you know the prophecy, when you know what the word says, and when these things come about, and when you see them, how can you go against that?
well, the devil been going against it since the beginning of time. And that's exactly what's happening. We dealing with spiritual warfare, fighting against the spiritual wickedness in high places. And,
Absolutely, it's a spiritual war. Spirit,
and
it's
that's
good versus evil, and I keep stressing the fact, even you all, the whole Truth Be Told family, we keep stressing the fact that choose this day whom you will serve, y'all. It ain't no lukewarm. It ain't no standing in between. It's either you going good or bad. No, we gonna keep this thing real. It's either good or evil. Which side do you choose? You know what I'm saying? Choose this day whom you gonna serve. Because I'm gonna be honest, here to tell you all, time is of the essence right now. You know, it's about to get crazy out here, and all I ask that you all, just, if you don't know God, to please get a relationship with Him. Get a relationship with Him, because listen, It is about to go so left, y'all. It's about to go so left. And if you don't have a relationship with him to hear him tell you what's the next move and how to prepare for what's next, then I don't know what to tell you all. If you all want to be confined to this world, which is so corrupt, evil, then that's just what it is. But however, as Mr. Bass said, it's not hidden. It is not hidden, y'all. It's right before our face. Whether you take it with a grain of salt, you take it, you don't. We are at war. A lot of things has come as a distraction to everyone. No one is seeing what is going on. Listen, get a relationship with God. If you don't have a relationship with God, repent of your sins. Hey, that's just what it is, y'all. I can only tell y'all that. It's up to you all to get it. I can only give out the message. It's up to you all to receive it. You know what I'm saying? I'm planting the seed. If you get it, you get it. You don't. I got it, y'all. I'm still a work in progress, but guess what? I have accepted the Lord Jesus Christ. Listen, I have done all that. Repent of my sins. Hey, hard, pretty, hard, good. I might snap a little bit, but hey, my heart pure. But anywho, we have to prepare ourselves for what's next, because these deities, demons, draconians, demons, fallen angels, they plan to be God, and the word has to fulfill itself. It's fulfilling itself. It has to play out, because listen. As shout out to Big Bye in the building again on tonight. Blessings. Also shout out to None. Also shout out to Corey. Yes, nuclear warfare could have. Listen, Corey, it's already starting, and a lot of you all don't even know that. Mr. Bass, were you aware that the cashless society has already started in Jamaica?
No.
Yeah. See, everybody's missing a lot. Everybody, listen. So much is being shown that it is distraction. It is a distraction. But yes, they have started the little system over in Jamaica. You know how they do. They start with the they take advantage of the people that is less fortunate first. So that's how they've actually started. Far as like the birth certificates and all of that, and I keep saying, the beast system is moving in on y'all slowly. You're going to wake up one night. Listen, you're going to go to sleep one night. You're going to wake up that next morning. Boom, cashless society. So moving forward, I'm going to be discussing how you all can move your money out of the banks and put it into like credit unions, because these banks are about to crash. I don't know when, but these banks will soon be crashing, y'all. I've been knowing, this has been years of information that I've been knowing, but it's closely approaching. So I would suggest that everyone, even myself, I bank with Bank of America as well as Chase. We're going to have to start moving this money. I just have a little something, but I also have safes. I encourage you all to get safes. So it's a lot of things that I'm going to be discussing with you all moving forward. But Mr. Bass, you can go ahead on and drop the content, love.
Accountability to my pain. You're being a Karen.
I'm not a Karen.
I'm not a Karen, and I'm not going to cancel you, and I'm not going to uncensor you. I'm simply going to challenge you on what you're saying. I think you don't understand the pain that you've been causing with some of these comments, and I think that one in particular, I can understand. Oh my God! God forbid, one comment could cause people to feel any of the pain that my people have went through for years. Even like the blacks being ushered to the left during the civil rights movement. No one has cared about black people. All right. No one is. Let me say, I agree that the racism against black people has been utterly deplorable, shameful, unacceptable, and thank God the world is beginning to move to a better place about the way it has treated black people like you. However, it's one form of racism doesn't justify. It's almost in a better place. But one form of racism doesn't justify another. It's not a better place. I'm not cutting you off. I'm finishing my sentences. You can respond. One form of racism. It is racism when you say I'm going death for Jewish people. I was in a position where I've been hurt, and this is the way I had the right to express myself. The point of this interview is for you to question me, and then for me to answer and say, okay, even though the same rules are not applied to my people, if a person with a gun or drugs is pulled over and has 3 other people in the car, they're all going to jail. I'm not going to apply that to Jewish people for the sake of this conversation. Isn't that what you wanted? But you know what you did? You tried to civil rights me. You tried to pull me back to a week ago, but we're here today. There's been plenty of conversations and commentary since that, but you want me to go back to 1960.
No.
You want me to go back to 7 days ago.
All right, let me jump in. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to reflect.
Okay, so have we grown? Have we grown?
Here's how we grow. Yeah, here's how we grow. I want you to reflect.
No, have we grown?
I'm about to.
You're not in charge of my growth. You're not in charge of my growth, Chris.
Okay, let me phrase it like this. I'm about to suggest to you how you may grow if you choose to grow this way. And you can ignore me. You can ignore me.
Pierce, how much money are you worth?
Not as much as you, sadly.
Exactly. So take my advice. Maybe you'll get richer.
I would love to take your business advice.
Why would I listen to you?
Well, why don't you hear what my advice is and then work out if I'm wrong? Can we do that deal?
Well, the thing is, you haven't given me any credit or a moment of reflection for the comparison that I made, the brilliant, if I do say so myself, comparison that I made to the cops pulling over one black person and locking everyone up.
I understand what you're saying.
My tweet having issues. Wait a second, I wasn't done with the sentence. My tweet referring to all Jewish people. And I said, for the sake of this conversation, I will refer to the business people who have destroyed me and my people and my fellow creatives. But you didn't even accept that I gave you that. You tried to push me back into 1960.
No,
you tried to push me back into last week.
No, I didn't.
Okay, do you accept that example that I gave you?
I understand completely the example you gave me. I think all racism is wrong.
So I feel that we've grown.
I would like you to reflect.
I feel we've grown.
If you feel we've grown? If you've now changed what you wanted to say originally, my question for you is, do you now regret saying DEFCON 3 on Jewish people? Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I don't think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not. You know, I will say I'm sorry for the people that I hurt with the DEFCON, the confusion that I call. I feel like I cause hurt and confusion. And I'm sorry for the families of the people that had nothing to do with the trauma that I had been through, and that I use my platform where you say hurt people. And I was hurt.
It's an uncensored interview. You said something which you've now wished you hadn't said, and you've apologized. I actually think that says a lot about you. Right? That shows you've got that ability to be self-aware, to understand when you cross a line. I think someone like you, with all your energy and creativity and your passion, you're going to say stuff. The way that you talk constantly and in such an extraordinary manner, you're going to trip up. You're going to say things the wrong way. I don't think there's anything wrong in when you do that, doing what you just did and saying, I'm sorry, I crossed a line, I apologize.
I want to say that it's wrong to hold an apology hostage, and I got to let go of that and free myself of the trauma and say, look, I'm just going to give it all up to God right now and say to those families that I hurt, I really want to give you guys a big hug. And I want to, I say, I'm sorry for hurting you with my comments. And I want to word it in not in like a political way, but in a presidential way, which means what I knew a president to be when I was growing up.
Mr. Bass. Baby, the Yeezy get him a
SK Vibe Maker. Are you over here for a seminar with Femi and Tricky?
Okay, so Mr. Bass, that was actually a video where everybody was lying, stating that Ye apologized. However, Ye only apologized for the confusion to the people that are confused. He apologized for you all being confused and not understanding what he said. And that's what it is. Shout out to None. Shout out to my boy J-Rock. Shout out to Cynthia. Blessings to everyone in the comment section. Please, when you come in, hit that like button, comment, share, as well as subscribe to the channel. Therefore, when we go live, you'll get the notifications. But Mr. Bass, man, did he not handle his ass or what, Mr. Bass?
Yes, he did. And everybody knows Pearson is another one of those folks that's getting a check.
Yes.
Just having a check to him from them people. And he's already shown his racism with dealing with the princess, the black princess. Yeah. So we already know where he coming from.
Thanks. So Yeah, it's like he kept trying to get an apology out of Ye, and Ye wasn't having it.
No, and you know, I don't, dealing with Pearson, he keep cutting you off, want to get in like he's more important than who he's talking to. He do that to all the people he interview.
Absolutely. So Ye finally gave him some of his medication. Ye gave him his medication. But that line, but wait a minute though, Mr. Bass. That line where he was like, a little apology and one little word really got so many of these people uproared or whatever. When my people have dealt with this shit for so long and no one has apologized yet. You get what I'm saying? Right. They have yet to apologize, but and we still going through it. So my thing is, y'all don't get none of us no apologies for taking our whole life, lying, indoctrinating us, indoctrinating our mothers, our grandmothers, our children, and we still dealing with it and going through the same shit. We have yet to get an apology. You run around and stole our identity. You're trying to steal our DNA. You're trying to steal our souls because you know that we are the chosen of people. So we have yet to get the apology.
Yeah, well, that's, that Jewish defamation league. They got all these, they are in our government and they are lobbying for these laws so that anything said about them will be punished one way or another. When they really don't need the laws because they own all the outlets that can shut stuff down as far as free speech and all. And now they're lobbying our so-called government leaders for even more laws. And then they got the anti-Asian law, but yet we're being killed in the street, and there's no
nothing being said. Nothing being said.
Exactly.
But guess what? And then see, like when we do speak out and talk as free thinkers, highly conscious of people, free thinking, not being submissive, not being under their control, they try to silence you. Then they want to kill you, do whatever. But this is the part of the word of God that comes, right? My soul is at peace. I have a relationship with God. Guess what? When they come, he already said we will be persecuted. Get what? When they come, y'all gotta know. Nobody over here knows. Truth be told, family. Guess what? Y'all gotta know. Boss Lady Bowl. I'm fearless. Hey, for God I live, for God I die. So guess what? I live by that KJB book and that 223 or that 45. Whenever they come knocking or come trying to tell something, kick something in, and ready for me to lay down, I ain't laying down easy. Let's go, Mr. Bass.
All right.
And Ye does not like the fact that he knows that Nore had to be submissive. He don't like that. He don't like that.
We got another one, man. We got an update on that whole Kanye situation. Wack is responding. We know that Nore apologized.
Mr. Bass, you hear the feedback in it?
Responded to Nore's apology. Now Wack is responding to both. And you'll hear Ye's response to Nore's apology in here as well.
Okay.
Let's get to it now. Comment throughout. Appreciate it.
You could tell he really got a lot of respect for Nore.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo, what?
Yeah, and that did something for Nore. Don't even realize what I know. Ye, I know him. Y'all remember I told you this. You're gonna look up, and Ye does not like the fact that he knows that Nore had to be submissive and bow down. He don't like that. He gonna set Nore up. Remember I told you this. He gonna we gonna look up, and it's gonna be an announcement that he didn't set this up and gave this 7-figure deal. Remember, it's coming. I know that man. He does not like the fact that Nore was forced to have to do that. If you notice, he didn't hold it against him.
Here's Kanye's interview, and then we'll get back to Wack's reaction and some commentary after that. Let's go.
Ye, Noriega apologized for your George Floyd comments. How do you feel about that?
I feel like Black Lives Matter is like a warm water, is a hot shower, and White Lives Matter is a cold shower. The funny thing about woke culture is like, woke culture is not really woke like that. A lot of times people, they would rather just exist inside of the pain of a lie than deal with the harsh realities of the truth. For us to look further, look at like JFK, how many documentaries there are on what happened there. Like, as a people, we are a sophisticated people that have to look in and be willing to challenge things, not just take what the media has fed us. The interview we had was amazing, and the exact people who sent people in the streets for Black Lives Matter were able to derail the interview and a lot of the ideas just based off the main comment. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by these people honking over here. So with Nore is my brother. He's under a lot of pressure. If you look at the first thing it says, Nore does an interview with Rosenberg. But what's the exact thing I was saying? I said the media controls so many things. It's not all the people, but there's specifically people in media that are in power that try to have, they bought the Black voice, but they haven't been able to buy my voice. So instead, they blackball me. They threaten people to not interview me. They threaten people to get away from me. They close down my stadiums. Love you too, family. Love you too. Yeah. You said thinking, right? Appreciate you. Yeah, they've done all this stuff for years, messing with me, just like poking at me, like calling me out my name. My name is Ye. Anytime they say Kanye West, I change my name. It's like Cassius Clay to Ali. You respect me as a man, as an American, that my name is Ye, that I have the right to choose what my name is. So when media does that, it's already disrespect. I love rappers. Rappers are artists. But when media calls me a rapper, specifically to not bring up the fact that I'm worth $11 billion, that I'm the richest Black man of all time, that I'm a billionaire, that I'm a tycoon, that I'm a visionary. And if I say that, if I say those three things, then they'll say I'm a narcissist, right? But they push you down so much that you got to fight just to say who you are. You know, what I got from the documentary, from the Candace Owens documentary, was I felt like it was a setup. I felt that in the documentary, if you look at it, he told his roommates they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. Well, who is they? I'm gonna pose it as a question, as opposed to, you know, giving you some kind of theory that I can't pinpoint. And this idea, these martyrs that we have, is 14 kids in Chicago every single day, and they have this media, Black media, trauma culture, trauma economy, the stuff that Charlemagne the God works for, the stuff that Rosenberg works for, the stuff that academics, the guys at academics. You got to understand, all these people that y'all listening to out here, I'm gonna tell y'all, they getting their checks cut. Dealing with the answer. You know, and y'all, I need y'all to really respect what I'm doing, the stuff that I'm doing and I'm saying online, and love the fact, look, I got money, I got my songs. I could go off and just go to, you know, Hawaii and live a nice life. That means that God has called me to sacrifice all of that in order to bring the truth. That's what I'm saying. They don't cut my check. You listen to people that's getting their check cut by media. George Soros, come and meet with me directly. I told you, you ain't gonna send none of these people that you usually send. Charlemagne, we know all the names. Nore is a good guy. Like he said, he called me this morning. He said, maybe politics is a little bit too much for me. Everybody back up off of Nore. This is like, he was giving a platform, right? Which no one does. There's no free thought anymore. I give you one last bar before I get on this flight. And in order for us to evolve, we have to walk forward. The left leg moving forward is the idea. The right leg moving forward is the actualization. I like the word actualization better than execution. We need the idea. We need to be realized. We need the idea. We need to be realized. Right now, the thought police have us crawling. We have stopped evolving. We have to fight for free thought, to say how we feel and act upon that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Just put the sheep uniform on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So he just put the sheep uniform on because he was playing wolf with the wolves. But he know if he's doing that, he see that a cancellation is starting to happen with the wolves. So if they cancel these two wolves out and I'm visible, right, they can cancel me out. So let me go sheep. So if they cancel my comrades out, I'm still in play. Somebody's still in play.
Bingo.
I'm gonna be real. Say what they want about cancel out. Can you imagine the thinking table and the resources and the already accumulated money of a Trump, Elon, and Ye? The world will damn near have to end. How you gonna stop it?
They trillionaires.
That's the real Three Musketeers.
Because guess what? Outside of Elon, Kanye, and Ye, watch this. That's not the real threat. The threat is their attachments, right? Let's name something that Elon has full control of. NASA. Remember, they have placed NASA under SpaceX. NASA reports to Eli.
It's called chess, not checkers.
Right?
There you go, Wack. There
Then
you go,
got
Wack.
Ye over here, right? Who's self-sufficient, right? So now, when you look at that, right, it is what it is. So they not making themselves an easy target. Two of them are already that. They visible. You know what I mean? One of them got to play Judas and got to play sheep. We got to put sheep clothing on. It's a wolf in it. You know what I mean? But he like, okay, let me y'all tripping this, that, and yay. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on. That's what I see.
There it is, y'all. Now that's an interesting alliance. We saw on Twitter with the White Lives Matter when Elon showed support, right? He did a subsequent tweet which brought some more heat on him. So he's playing low now. Like he probably play low. We already know Kanye and Trump are closely aligned as well, right? And Ye be wearing that 2024 as though he wants to be vice president. That's his aspiration, which is interesting too. So you heard Wack break it down. You know, that's a hell of a three musketeers in that scenario. So, but Elon may have to play the back after the most recent feedback. But what y'all think, man? It's your boy The Answer. We'll keep bringing you the content and updates. Appreciate the support and y'all tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. We out till next time.
Mr. Bass, Mr. Bass, Mr. Bass. All righty, family. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. I ask that you all hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe to our channel so that when we go live, you will get the notification. Peace, love, and blessings to everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night to whatever part of the world you are located. Go ahead, Mr. Bass.
Into all that. How do you feel about just 2022 in general, at totality, and how everything's going in our world in America right now?
About 4 years ago, I said we need.
Okay, you all. This is Judge Joe Brown. Everyone is familiar with Judge Joe Brown.
Well, that's
Please watch Judge Joe Brown as he speaks. This is Judge Joe Brown. Please pay attention and listen to everything Judge Joe Brown says.
Going right now is what we're doing to suppress free speech. What they're trying to do to Kanye is an example of that. I mean, what he said. Hey, that's supposed to hurt somebody's feelings? Well, too damn bad. I mean, but the example is he's looking at something and he sees it on screen, right? So people get it. Let's say it's the Super Bowl and they've got a controversial play. Did the guy catch the pass inbounds, making it a first down, or does the ball go over to the other team? So they're showing the replay and people are sitting around, a bunch of them looking at different televisions in the same house and go, man, dude was inside, man. He was inbounds, man. No, he wasn't, man. Dude's foot was out, man. You saw that.
Right.
And see, you're supposed to make something like that liable for damages. What the hell are we coming to? And see, the other thing that I do not like about this George Floyd bit is there's other stuff that was not put out there much, but it showed. There was video, for example, before all this broke down, and him getting put on the ground. There's this young black guy out there saying, hey, man, mister, I don't know you. They're going to take this money out of my check, man. I can't afford this. See, Floyd passed the $20 bill to get fentanyl. And he passed this counterfeit bill on this young brother at the store, the cupcake shop. So the young brother's going to have to pay that $20 out of his paycheck. So he said, man, I can't afford that, man. Would you get the money back, man? And he basically gets told to get lost. So, I mean, that ain't right either.
Right.
And fentanyl is a bitch, man. I had cancer last year. They told me I beat it, but they gave me fentanyl, and it says big as daylight on the container. It said in red, it says warning. This reduces your respiratory function, sometimes dangerously. Wow. And what was going on in this thing, and I'll just tell you, forget commenting on what was going on there. I had this done to me, demonstrated by my late brother, the Grand Master of Martial Arts, the late, great Dr. Clifford Stewart. My brother died last year. And he showed me how to do it. And what happens is when you press on somebody's carotid artery complex on one side, you reduce their flow of blood to the brain, but you don't knock them out. What you do is you make them feel like they're 12, 14,000 feet. So they can keep breathing for a long time. But you let go of it after a while and they got a bad headache, but they aren't moving. Now, you get the guy down on the ground, let's say if it goes like it's supposed to, and you suppress this blood flow to the brain, all of this is going to happen. Let's say you put him under fentanyl, and he's going to have a real problem, but he's not going to die. But if somebody puts a knee in his back, like let's say, for example, a heavy-set white cop that comes in second, what happens is this guy that you're doing this to has got the labor to breathe. And when you put the knee in the back, what winds up happening is mechanically he starts heaving reflexively, and some other people get involved in it, and that kills him. And let's say the DA is too ignorant of what physiology is to go prosecute the second cop for murder, but only manslaughter. You know, I mean, it could happen that way. So somebody wants to call what they call, how much of this is driven just by somebody saying, okay, $250 million, let's go after it. And then you got an extended family, and they got $28 million on a settlement against Minneapolis, which has, as last I heard, I may be wrong, but they had a $250 million liability insurance policy. So, and some family members may not have wanted to settle for $28 million with a big chunk of it going to counsel who settles it.
Yeah.
And you've got all kinds of other things going on here, and people don't even get to understand them now, because who wants to print this and risk somebody suing them for $250 million because they got hurt feelings? I mean, I don't get it, because I grew up, man, when we ran the dozen. Hey, man, I don't say nothing about your mama, man, but last night, man, we was over there. Hey, man, you didn't know about that because you was asleep, man. But I apologize, man, if you got a new baby brother coming in 9 months, man, and don't tell your dad, man, or whoever that dude is be staying over there, man, because he was at work, you know, hey, man, I don't see nothing about your mama, man, but she's so fat, man, she can't fit in the bathtub, but with 2 drops of water, man, that's why she can't get clean and she smells so funky. Hey, you know, we used to do this for recreation, elementary, junior high, and high school. What happened?
Let me ask you this. I'm going to get clarity on the fentanyl. Is it alleged that George Floyd took the fentanyl himself, or the cops gave it to him?
I don't know.
Okay.
They have video of him in that cupcake shop. He was acting like he was high. Okay. Now, it works. They get a little thing about the size of your fingernail, and it's on a little stick on. You stick it on your shoulder, and that's good for 3 days. Now, I was in a lot of pain. I had 3rd-degree burns on the outside of my neck and inside my throat from this radiation treatment every day of the week for 2 months. And that hurt. Couldn't swallow either. So I took it, but it works to kill what you're feeling. But, man, you don't want that for a high. I would always say move everything out the way, pencils, pens, anything sharp, because you're likely to hurt yourself or accidentally do something crazy. And that is man, that ain't a good high, man. Not at all. That's like wicked. It's like you get stuck on stupid to the point where you sit there and go, don't move, let's go to sleep. Because you don't need to move, you'll do something stupid. And yeah, your respiratory capacity gets diminished. So yeah, all of the above. I don't know, but he looked like, well, let me not say, because I don't feel like defending against some fool complaint, but let's just say that a reasonable person observing the late Mr. Floyd on the security camera footage inside that cupcake shop might conclude that someone was under the influence. So I don't know. If you do that voluntarily and you don't need it, fentanyl, that ain't no good. And you know what my copay was on 30-day supply of that nasty stuff?
$3?
62 damn cents.
Wow.
Man.
I mean, see, they have at major hospitals, they've got tons of this stuff. And it's easy for folk to snatch it and sell it. And a whole lot of it coming across bootlegged and, you know, in bulk across the border these days. So, man, if you want to get yourself on fentanyl, that's dangerous. And they got a warning. Said 2 or 3 usages of this stuff can cause you to become an addict unless you're in severe pain. If you're in pain, and some of that stuff from cancer and radiation treatment, man, that is a bitch, man. That is not pleasant, but I mean, sort of that. Stay the hell away from that, man. And people are going to that. That's like, man, going to Dracula, bite me, you know, forget long life, you know, can't come out after, you know, the sun comes up, but It's not cool. It's not cool. But I don't care whether I agree with Kanye or not. Some things I agree with him on, and other stuff I don't. But man, I defend his right to say this stuff has gotten so damn sissified and punked out with some of this stuff people are doing these days about, oh, my feelings are hurt. And oh, shame is so bad. One should never shame anyone, and guilt is such a hard thing. Yeah, some folk need to be shamed, and some folk need to feel guilty too.
Absolutely.
Judge Joe Brown said it best, Mr. Bass. Judge Joe Brown said it best, y'all. Like stated, I remember when it all first hit and everything first came out. Like I stated to you all, I am in the nursing field, and unfortunately, I just don't do hospital work. I do home health. I manage a mental health group home. So he is absolutely correct. When it first came about, I seen the video. That's what they stated in the autopsy. Yes, absolutely correct. But and first and foremost, I would like to state that Candace Owen has a whole documentary of everything that happened. So ask me, y'all, why the family ain't go after Candace Owens? She's the one putting it out there. When Yee said what he said, according to the documentary, these things occurred. So he basically was pretty much going off the documentary, with, whatever else, right, Mr. Bass?
Yeah, going after them deep pockets.
Yeah, but I mean, they not gonna win around there.
No.
Because if you go back and listen to what Yee said in the Drink Champs interview, that it doesn't have enough grounds. There's not enough grounds for a lawsuit, period. So it's a waste of time.
They're hoping that they will get Kanye to give up something less than that 250 million. That's what it is.
Nah. It won't happen.
No.
There's no grounds. There was nothing violated. Even when he said what he said, that's his opinion. But however, he did not violate the family on no type of levels. He stated what he seen and heard in the documentary. So right there, that fucked it up for him right there. He clearly stated. He was like, well, the documentary that I seen, it was, so he, like I said, it's a waste of time for whoever, whatever legal team is with this family, or whatever, it's his truth, it's his right, it's his opinion. He also stated that on the documentary they said, so there's no grounds for a lawsuit, period, y'all. So they might as well hang that up. You will not be sued. No grounds for it.
Facts. Yeah, that's facts.
Absolutely none. True that. They can't sue. It's his truth. And like I said, he said what he said, and that's what he said. So they can't sue him. There's no grounds for it. There's no grounds. So go ahead on with the next one, Mr. Bass. What's next? All righty, y'all. So we're switching the gears up a little bit. We're switching the gears up a little bit to discuss
specific analysis to keep you in the know of what is going on around you. There is a lot we have come to learn about Rkelly in the past few years, since his latest ordeal befell him, and if any of us has not picked a leaf or two from the I Believe I Can Fly hitmaker, then it's probably because they are merely jealous of the real R&B king. There has always been a debate around whether Rkelly is actually a Christian, with many arguing against, majorly based on his rather controversial lyrics. But once you study the way he has carried himself around, all through his recent misfortunes, and also closely listen into the testimonies of his accusers carefully, you will learn that Rkelly is indeed, like no other celebrity alive. Let's face it, In all the allegations that have come through since the wake of the infamous surviving Rkelly, the only and constant message he has sent out to the public is a plea for fairness and truth, but he has not gone out to blame anyone directly or speak ill of anyone, not even his accusers, to make himself look any more innocent. We could start with his closest accuser, his ex-wife Rkelly, who had generated every possible reason to be lashed back at, having put in all effort to taint his ex-husband's image with no reservations, nor remorse whatsoever, and no consideration for their 3 beautiful kids. But what has been Rkelly's response to all this? Silence. Probably the whole world was perplexed with the discovery that Rkelly, the alleged victim, actually appeared on some of the tapes that were shown to the jury in Chicago, and not as a filler, no, not as a camera person either, but rather, as an active participant in whatever was going on in the said tapes. What a shame. Well, of course Rkelly had all these facts at his disposal all along, all the time that Drea was playing the victim card, driving their 3 lovely children further away from their father with her false abuse allegations and running his hard-earned money and career down the drain. All this while, Rkelly knew the real truth, but he never opened his mouth even once. Well, some people may never understand this, but that should tell you who Rkelly really is. In his infamous interview with Gayle King, Rkelly's biggest pain was his inability to craft a healthy relationship with his 3 lovely children due to the constant allegations against him, and how they had been compounded by the media. You could literally see his pain, practically feel it. But you will notice he never went out on anyone personally, not even his ex-wife Drea, that has deliberately estranged their children from him.
I make mistakes, I'm not perfect. We got married. Okay, we had 3 beautiful kids. Not one. This is not a lie. What kind of woman would tear down a dad who's trying to have a relationship with their kid?
What's interesting is even his alleged accusers will find themselves unintentionally speaking of how special a man he truly is. In the just concluded Chicago trial, prosecution's key witness, Jane, revealed that not only did Rkelly care for her, but she too cared deeply for Rkelly until just recently. What could have changed her feelings for Kelly all of a sudden? What could the government have offered her that took away the love she had for Rkelly? Could that be the same way government solicited all its witnesses against Kelly? Well, I will leave that for you to answer. What I wanted to bring out vividly here is the fact that both Jane and her mother testified under oath in that courthouse that they had maintained a close and deep relationship with Rkelly over the years, to the point of attending his parties and making casual visits at his house. This is allegedly prosecution's key witness, who was allegedly abused by Rkelly, numerous times for that matter, and allegedly went on to threaten her parents. Really? Doesn't quite add up. Jane went on to say that as surviving Rkelly was released, she was deeply concerned for Kelly and reached out to him. In one text to him, she wrote, "I love you. Don't let the devil win." Sheer irony. Another daunting testimony was that of Daryl McDavid, that clearly portrayed who Rkelly really is. In his day 1 testimony, McDavid gave a clear description of Rkelly, and how he carried himself around, despite his celebrity status. McDavid's unexpected testimony gave the jury a rather unique, fresher look into Rkelly's real character, as a focused businessman and loving friend and loyal partner, who always took caution to only indulge with women that were of age, but rather naive and manipulatable. McDavid further revealed to the jury in the Dirksen Federal Courthouse, that as the I Believe I Can Fly star grew in fame, wealth and popularity, people with grudges started plotting against him, with false allegation after false allegation, looking for some quick payoffs. In fact, the Chicago trial went a long way in demystifying the image that had been painted of Rkelly, portraying him as a kind and loving man, that always cared for all the people he related with. But this was not the first time Rkelly's true self was being described, rather, the first it was being given attention. One could easily assume the entire media was on in the ploy by Lifetime to taint Rkelly's image and subsequently ruin his whole career. You will be surprised to learn that even in the New York trial, one defense witness gave a revealing image of the real Rkelly, but his voice was trumped over by the media, with no report of his testimony ever publicized. Evidence of prejudice. Rapper Don Iram, who interned at Rkelly's production house for years, gave an astonishing description of how much Rkelly cared for his live-in girlfriends in the trial and also shared the story with the media, but it was for obvious reasons. It is only now, after Lisa Van Allen came out to expose Lifetime, the producers of the infamous Surviving R. Kelly documentary series, that triggered R. Kelly's indictment and subsequent 30-year sentence, for who they really are, and how they carefully crafted the whole documentary series with only one goal in mind, irrespective of the truth or facts for that matter. R. Kelly has equally given so selflessly to charity, but none of this is being publicized now, conveniently so, that it becomes harder for anyone to be objective, when it comes to understanding who he truly is as a person. Kelly has contributed to various U.S. and international charities through donations, and also through proceeds of specifically organized fundraiser performances, all because of his passion to support the lives of others, and other noble causes. In 1995, Kelly donated up to £20,000 to a UK charity, accepted by Representative and former footballer Garth Crooks. In 2003, Kelly donated up to $50,000 to the Texas Military Family Foundation after a successful fundraising performance he specifically staged for them. Kelly had also been actively involved in charity events to bring awareness to the fight against breast cancer. In 2003, he released the single Soldier's Heart and donated all the song's proceeds to the families of American soldiers. In 2007, Kelly released the song Rise Up for Virginia Tech after the 2007 school shooting, and donated all the net proceeds from the single to the families of the victims. In 2010, Kelly performed at a benefit concert for the Special Olympics of Angola, and donated several specially designed wheelchairs to facilitate the disabled. The same year, he also wrote the song Sign of a Victory for the FIFA World Cup, and all proceeds from the song benefited selected African charities. In 2011, R. Kelly performed at a charity event in Chicago benefiting Clara's House, a facility that was specifically designed to build employment, housing, health care, and education in the projects of Chicago. The list goes on and on. In short, R. Kelly is by far the most down-to-earth celebrity of all time, and beyond all the bad publicity that surrounds him, he is one of the most loving and caring celebrities in the US today, and it's no wonder he is now in jail, specifically for the same reasons. But not for long. That's all we had for you today. Please let us know in the comment section below what you think R. Kelly will be up to once he gets out of prison. We value your honest opinion. Thank you for watching LFN News, a production of LFN Media, giving you another view of issues at hand. To get notified whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now and hit the notification icon, and remember to give us your comment on the subject matter below.
He has such a great heart, Mr. Bass. You see, everything that he was doing, he was actually doing more for the people than its own government.
Facts. Yeah, I didn't know he
like
was
what he was doing for the military families, and like he actually was doing more for his people than the government. How did all that go unrecognized?
Yeah, now I was wondering why, until I saw that video, I didn't know he was giving like that. And that's very admirable and honorable for him to reach out and help the military and Angola, the Africans and all, so it's really so he was being a blessing.
Yeah, he was. And then to reach out at Angola.
Yeah, I wonder how much Kanye is doing like that. That's not being, that's not being notified, or that's notified is not the word I want to use, but not being recognized by the media.
Mm-hmm. And another thing too, Mr. Bass, they also hate that. They hate when you reach back and take care of your people.
Yes, they do.
That's why they put these politics in position. They get out there and they like build their shout out to Sir Miguel on the panel. Blessings, love, blessings. Good to have you, Sir Miguel.
Good evening, King and Queen, Mr. Bass. How y'all doing? Truth be told.
Blessings, love. How was your day today? You good?
Thank you for coming up. No, I don't do too much talking.
Thank you so much, Sir Miguel.
Nah, man. At the
Yeah,
end of
you
the
know,
day, God
Sir
woke me up,
Miguel.
so I can't complain. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry, love, for cutting you out, but were you aware all of the good deeds that Kels was doing out here? Like, I didn't know that he had until, I stumbled across the video and I had, sent it to Mr. Bass or whatever, but like no one ever knew that he was giving back to the war and doing all of these things. He did more for the people that had been in war than his own government.
I've been kind of knowing that for a while because even he had talked about it some years ago that he did a lot of stuff like that, but he didn't want no publicity for it. That was just him. Because I remember one time he was telling a story, or one of his friends or somebody said there was a car accident, and he actually pulled over to the side of the road to help the lady out the car and called the police. And he told the friend, "Say, hey, don't even mention my name."
Wow. Blessings.
So that just shows you type of person he is and the type of man he is. You know what I'm saying? And I think the sad part about it is they didn't bring any of that stuff out in any of the cases. You know what I mean? And hopefully when he does his sentence, when they do his sentence in Chicago, hopefully that stuff does come up, or even maybe it come up in appeal or something. Yes, ma'am.
I got something about to come up, babe. That's going to be interesting. Remember, I told y'all this. Remember, I stated this on a couple of lives, a few lives back that we did. I came with some content, and I told y'all, I said next they gonna be hollering some things missing and a lot of things ain't right when they take a look at New York due to when Gladiator, Bo Jean, aka I call her Gladiator. When Gladiator was over there and she sent her assistants, Ashley, them to get the the facts back and pertaining
the transcripts and stuff,
the transcripts and everything, right? And they were saying that they couldn't find them, and all this. However, they wind it out sending them, but I said, y'all, something going on over there. They didn't hear some shit missing. Go back a few lives. So that's what's next. But we gonna talk about it.
No, I remember you saying that, and I could have sworn, I don't know if I saw it somewhere on YouTube or somebody said something about something was missing in New York.
Yeah, that's what's next, baby. It's listen, I said that a few lives back. I said y'all were surprised that listen, a lot of stuff gonna be coming out. A lot of stuff is actually about to be coming out, y'all. So I think y'all need to just stay tuned in, stay watchful. A lot of stuff is about to be coming out and pertaining to him. Because it's not right. I said that, hey, some stuff missing. I said, y'all, guess what? When they get it, that's when I thought they was gonna realize it right then at that moment, because I thought they weren't gonna be able to produce it. Because I know dealing with everything they've been doing, y'all, the line and putting together on everything ain't nothing right. I wouldn't be surprised. Mr. Bass, can you tell the lovely people I'm about to say something? And when I say it, what does it do, Mr. Bass? Mr. Bass.
I'm here.
I got Sir Miguel up here. He went mute on me. Mr. Bass, where you at, babe?
Excuse me.
Yeah, but I'm about to say something, Mr. Bass. So I'm about to put it in the air real quick. So tell the people when I say something what happens.
You on PS5 right now or PS4?
Hello? Crickets?
I can't hear it. I'm waiting for you to say what you're gonna say.
I just said what I said. I said, oh, okay. Anywho, I know I asked you a question. I'm like, listen, I'm about to get ready to tell the people something. Yeah, Parch, him sleeping. He winding down back there.
I'm not sleepy. I never got the question.
Okay, Mr. Bass. I said, would you tell the people every time I speak or say something what happens when I speak.
Oh,
Because
okay. All right. I didn't understand it that way. It comes to pass. It comes to pass. No, don't even start that.
okay, so I'm about to put something in the air, y'all. And when I put it in the air, listen, y'all. Don't be surprised that whatever's taking place in New York right now as we speak, they find so much wrong that they're gonna have to overturn this man's conviction ASAP. Remember, Boss Lady. Remember, you heard it over here on Tbttv, and Boss Lady said it first. I wouldn't be surprised that with so much being missing right now, so much is gonna be found wrong. Listen, they finna try to push through this election time. Listen to me, y'all. Please hear me. They are trying to wait it out until through the election. But I don't think Gladiator and the rest of the crew, excuse me, y'all, they not having it. So please hear me when I say this, y'all. So much has went on over there in New York, y'all. Be watchful. So much is wrong. So much is missing with the Supreme Court, and whatever's going to take place, they is about to have to overturn this man's conviction over and all. Let's talk about it, y'all. Matter of fact, no, we ain't gonna talk about it. Mr. Bass, go on, drop that next clip.
All right.
Discuss real issues like you. We are still featuring Rkelly. Real name, Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. About 3 years ago, Rkelly was arrested while he walked his dog outside Trump Towers in Chicago. His arrest was followed by a media outburst that saw reporters come up with different stories to explain the charges he was facing, and what the future looked like for the R&B King. We all know what followed as his bail application was denied several times, and how the Bureau of Prisons managed to keep him in custody for a good 2.5 years without trial. His rights were one by one being abused, but all the media had mouths for was the usual propaganda against him. This is not because the journalists couldn't see that Rkelly's rights were being abused, but none of them had the balls to stand up and address this because bashing him more was the easier thing to do. Fast forward, and Rkelly is eventually tried in a private courtroom with no cameras allowed at what looked like a kangaroo court, and he is eventually declared guilty for all 10 counts against him. Something that until now has never sunk in well as a possibility. While his haters were excited and jubilating about this, and while all this was going on, no one came out to clearly lay out the pieces of evidence that were used to determine him guilty one at a time. Media, however, continues to refer to overwhelming evidence which until now, we haven't had a chance to see or understand what it exactly was. There is mention of DNA evidence that confirms Rkelly's semen was found on a shirt that belonged to a certain woman, but this doesn't make sense at all.
Police. The male DNA identified in the semen sample is a match to Robert Kelly's DNA profile. Prosecutors said
Rkelly is not denying ever having such intimate relations with these people. All he is saying is where the prosecution claims it was forceful, it was actually consensual, and where they suggest the women were underage, he says they were of age. This is what the prosecutors needed to prove against Rkelly's defense. Not present test results of DNA from a shirt that was worn by an adult who willingly indulged with the R&B King, something he is not denying. Another piece of judgment the court wants us to believe is that Rkelly was guilty of trafficking. However, like we mentioned in one of our previous videos, the definition of trafficking does not tally well with the events that did take place. If the prosecutors cannot prove that Rkelly did transport any of these women across stateliness for the purpose of immoral behavior, where the original purpose of the trip was to engage in immoral behavior, then it's not proper to conclude that he is guilty on this specific count. One of the incidences the prosecution presented as evidence to back this up was when Rkelly was attending Oscar awards in another state, and one of the accusers took a flight to join in. For God's sake, this is not trafficking considering the purpose of the trip was to attend the Oscars. Unless they want to suggest that attending the Oscars is an immoral act according to their kangaroo laws. And even if the two eventually did it, this does not in any way change the purpose of the trip. And before the prosecution draws a conclusion about this, can they even prove that the two did have intercourse when they eventually met at the Oscars? I guess not. If Rkelly was found guilty of bribery, let me ask who has seen these records? Referring to a fake marriage certificate and people's word of mouth alone to draw a conclusion on bribery is completely haywire. And if he did bribe someone for anything, where is the person that received the bribe? Why won't they be held accountable as well? Another disturbing gaffe by prosecution was to smuggle the RICO violations onto his charge sheet, which according to a legal consultant was a strategy to allow them introduce claims from decades back into this case that would otherwise not be prosecuted.
As far as the racketeering charges went, was that part of the strategy for prosecutors?
That's absolutely a part of the strategy for the prosecutors. The racketeering charges brought under the RICO statute allows them to bring in evidence that's decades old. Things that he can't be prosecuted for in other cases, they can introduce evidence in this case. And so, of course, they wanted to introduce all of the evidence, long-term evidence, historical evidence. It was very important to the prosecution's case.
What we all know, however, is that the prosecution has completely failed to prove that Rkelly operated an enterprise that helped him commit any alleged crimes. There are two ways the RICO violation claims get disqualified. First of all, if the crimes Rkelly is said to have committed are still questionable as they currently are, with no real evidence to prove that he did these things, then the RICO under which the prosecutors claim he committed the crimes has no footing. You cannot organize an illegal enterprise to commit no real crimes. But also assuming Rkelly did commit any crimes, where is the enterprise? Where are the people that formed his gang? If Daryl McDavid and Milton June Brown are innocent as were found to be in the Chicago case, and the prosecution was determined to have lied about their involvement, then where is the enterprise? I will not be surprised if the government says they have more DNA evidence to prove the RICO violations, like they did present the same to prove harassment. I still want to know what the DNA evidence was meant to prove anyway. It looks like the prosecution have their evidence jumbled up and are failing to sort which piece proves which claims. The only claims they are able to prove are actions that Rkelly doesn't deny, but that are simply not criminal at all. For example, there is nothing wrong with an adult man having it with a 24-year-old hair braider. But if she later runs to the police with claims of assault, what the police needs to look for is not DNA on her shirt, but physical evidence indicating a scuffle, and these could be bruises or real injuries to show that the alleged victim put up a resistance, but was eventually subdued. A shirt covered in Rkelly's DNA or call it semen does not prove this. According to Ray Johnson, this is all just a bunch of allegations and speculations that Rkelly did things that have never been proved. The prosecution is just choosing to baptize everything under one name RICO, with completely no consideration of what the RICO Act is all about. It's strange how they conclude he is guilty of trafficking, although none of the women claim he did transport them across state lines for any such solicitation and immoral acts as they put it. The women have said everything else but this. None has talked about Rkelly transporting them and selling them for money or any such thing. It's just the narrative the government wants the world to believe. Indeed, like Rkelly said during his interview with Gayle King, there are real victims out there being held against their will. But the government is not as interested because it's not big-time celebrities like Rkelly committing the real crimes. According to Maria Slavinsky, it's a shame to learn that the previous defense legal team did not call up all the witnesses involved to contest the false accusations against their client. In the hair braider case, for example, once the real hair braider speaks out, the case will be closed. There just weren't enough defense witnesses on the case to counteract the kangaroo court proceedings. The whole idea of a private trial can also provide good ground for Rkelly to appeal the New York conviction. Remember, everyone has a right to a fair and public trial. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications.
Bro, just skip the niggas that's not running up, bro.
All right. Shout out to my boy Big Vibe. Blessings, love, good evening. Welcome again to Truth Be Told.
Thank you. What's up, Mr. Bass? What's up, sir?
What's up,
How's
Big
it
Boss?
going, Queen? Boss lady?
What's up, love? Blessings.
I'm in here.
All right now.
Well, I've
So,
been in here for a minute. So, but,
yeah, I know. I seen you came in when we first went live. I'm like, check them out. Thank you so much for the support. I also want to sub to your channel. You know, that's what we got to do out here. You feel me?
Oh yeah, most definitely support each other. That's what
Yes,
it's
absolutely. So you all, so what y'all think about the New York and the allegations and things that's going on over in New York?
Well, let me say this. If I'm not mistaken, Big Boss, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I could have sworn they said in New York case when they did the testing on the shirt that it was inconclusive.
Okay. Okay. Come on, Sir Miguel.
So I'm just confused now where all this little stuff coming in at. But I want to piggyback something you said earlier about the missing stuff. It's mighty funny that all of this stuff is coming up now. And when you talk about the election and so forth and so on. But here's another thing. When you look at the Mann Act and you look at the RICO, now that the statute has become case law, that proves that he didn't run an enterprise. So they're gonna have an issue there in New York as well. When it go to the Second Circuit. So there's a lot of stuff that's gonna come out, like you said, and I believe it. That's shit finna hit the fan.
Yes, it is. It's about to go up. See, I'm gonna show you what they doing. See, they playing politrick circles with this man's life, and they've been playing politrick circles for a minute with this man's life. You get what I'm saying? So they trying to let it prolong until they vote, and you know they doing early voting all this here so they can steal some more shit down there, like they been stealing. So that's what it is. They're trying to keep it hid and not allow it to come out until the election is over. And they thinking they still gonna be within office to try to fix it. But no. I don't believe in karma, but I believe in reaping the seeds that you sow.
And plus missing that Rkelly, he's gonna be in a miss that window of opportunity to get his masters back as well. You know, he only have from my understanding, it's like a 5-year gap from the 30th year of you after your 30th year. It's like a 5-year gap that you have in order to, you know, put in the paperwork to get your masters and your publishing back. Another YouTuber that's an Rkelly supporter go by the name Senator Singh. He broke it down to the T as far as the masters and how to get the masters, and he was one of the first people I heard talk about like that 5-year window, that you know the time span for you to get your masters, and then how long you have to apply for your masters after that 30-year time period up. And now we look at it. I say after about 5 years he gonna be free. He already been in there.
Oh, them dirty bitches. Ain't them Jews eating as fuck?
Oh yeah. So now he gotta wait. After he missed this window, he gonna have to wait all over again. You know. So it's a dirty game that they playing. But like New York, the whole trial in New York was the prosecutors didn't even have to be there. The judge did all the dibbling and dabbling for him.
True that.
The judge had more sidebars than the defense and the prosecution. And the evidence that they're talking about is Kanye had evidence that the judge would not allow him to play none of the video and audio that he had.
Surely went.
And that's what you put on. That's why with Bunjean, you hear her doing in her trial, she talk about putting it on record, making sure even though the judge, when she filing the motion, they getting denied, but she's putting it on record. So therefore, when it go back to the appellate court, they gonna see. The appellate court gonna see all of these motions that were filed, and why were they denied when these were compelled motions? You can't tell me I'm gonna even go back to the BS attorneys with Greenberg, Leonard, all these. You mean to tell me all these lawyers who've been to school for this, not one of these lawyers could compel a motion to get passed?
True.
From Greenberg them to Jennifer, none of these attorneys could get a motion passed.
Man, this shit is all political. Like said, it's political, y'all.
And see the thing, even if let's just say if Kanye had came on a little earlier, and he did the best he could, but what he did do was put it out there so when she came on board, she can pick up everything that he put on record to help, even with the Chicago case and then with the appeal. But if you notice right now, you ain't heard much from her. That's because she's doing her due diligence and what she needs to do to make sure that this appeal in New York goes fairly well for him.
Yeah.
Right. She said we just want to get it over with. We just want to get past these court hearings so that we can start working. And Demetrius Smith, I mean, he's a dope fiend, true enough. But in New York, he did not comply with what they wanted him to do.
No, he reneged altogether because at the end of the day, and I think J-Rock has said this, and I agree with him. I believe Demetrius Smith's story fits the narrative on Rkelly with the underage girls.
Yeah, it's him himself.
Yeah,
exactly.
True that.
And at the end of the day, you remember when JP said that she wanted to give some of the money back that she received from him when she sued him? That should all tell you a lot too. And not only that, when she went to the man's house when he was on tour, wasn't even in town at the time, taking pictures in the house. And I'll say it again, she did not sleep with Rkelly. She slept with the best friend, Bubba.
She slept with Bubba. And why Aunt Dolly didn't raise the eyebrow when JP said that she gave Bubba $4,000 off her settlement? Why is you paying his worker off a settlement that you got from suing him? That's extortion, clear as day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what we've been discussing over here. Distortion at its finest, babe. It wasn't here, y'all.
No, it wasn't here. They got the lawsuit scheme with Barry, Sparkle, Jim Derogatis, Daryl McDavid, and Susan Logan. And Demetrius is the recruiter. He the one go around finding these old vulnerable women and sending them to Susan.
But what I don't understand is that's why I also let the Truth Be Told family see as well, you all. How is it that they all got an immunity deal, right?
Everybody.
Committed perjury.
Everybody. Even Azrael in New York. She got to the point of saying, I didn't say that, the government said that.
Sure
in the courtroom.
But you know what's sad about that too, though? By her saying that and put it on record, I guarantee you, Bonjean gonna find somewhere in the law or whatever, and when she presented to appellate court, they're gonna be looking like, wait a minute, what the hell is this? Because keep in mind, she can also bring up the case law too with Epstein and the other chick, Maxwell. They didn't get no Mann Act. They didn't get no RICO. They didn't get no RICO.
And boy, they had a hurt. Oh, baby, let's not even talk about that.
And how you even get a RICO in New York?
Yeah,
there's no way possible you can get a RICO in New York the way that trial went. That charge alone will not even hold up in appellate court. The Supreme Court, like HN Newsroom, I mean, I don't know which one of those videos them voices sound the same on a lot of them.
Yeah, they together.
Yeah, so they did the one where they talk about this. They did a video a while back say the Supreme Court will free R. Kelly, and it showed the Supreme Court having a hearing, and it was a similar case to R. Kelly's. And in the late, they had the prosecutor in there in the middle of the floor. It was like 5 or 6 of those judges sitting around,
and they was mostly women.
It was mostly women. They asked it like, well, then if this man is being charged with these 3 women, for sex crime, why do you have 5 other women in here giving testimony? Why do you have these 5 other women giving testimony, but he's not being charged for these 5 other women? That's prejudice. She was like, you should be able to prove your case with these 3 women. So now you go think about R. Kelly case. This man had 40 plus witnesses testify against him.
Bad act witnesses on top of that.
Bad acts at that. People with criminal records, people with motives, everything. So the appellate court, they gonna have a field day. This R. Kelly is gonna change the way the judicial system work after this, because it's so like they overplayed their hands so bad. Like in post Chicago, Chicago was the worst. You tried it, man. They did all of that in Chicago just to bring back these tapes, and just because this woman now said she didn't even prove it was her on the video.
Exactly.
She just said it was me.
But see, that's the thing, Big Vi. They put her in the corner because at the end of the day, you wouldn't have got it. At the end of the day, if it's the truth, you don't need immunity to tell the truth. Right. So that means you did something criminal in order to get immunity, but then also to get Section 8.
That PPP loan, man. She asked for it for her whole family, because her mama, and her brother. The daddy probably could have got one because he worked for R. Kelly. He was that was his job. But the rest of them weren't doing nothing. Her mama, or her brother.
And then the mama made herself look stupid anyway when she tried to say that R. Kelly was their only income, and then Bonjean was like, "Well, didn't y'all have a
whole business,
a whole shoe store for 10 years?" He said that because the daughter said, but you see why she said that though, because the daughter said that R. Kelly told her parents he didn't want them working no more. That was Bonjean like, well, then your mom, your family owned a shoe store from 01 to 2010.
Facts.
So how did he not want your family going back not working?
And then what happened in between that? That $30,000 check for remodeling came up.
Let's not even mention them PPPs getting put in the dead name. The dad is dead.
Right.
He getting PPPs and he's a dead man.
Let's talk about it. I didn't know that. Damn.
Oh yeah.
The daddy died in like 20. The daddy died in 20.
It was last year.
So he died in 2021.
Okay. And in 2020, yeah, let's go. You know about that, Big Vi?
I knew the dad. That's why she allegedly was asking for immunity for the whole family. But the whole dynamic, but we talking about the daddy now. We gotta talk about Linda Minch and the private investigator. Both of them ended up dying in the same year. Both of them ended up being hit by a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Which was very strange.
No, don't say that, boss lady. Keep going, y'all. I'm listening.
Both of them, all of a sudden, Linda Minch was the one who had all the information from the 2008 trial. Who had all of the records, and then the private investigator Palladino. These people was important people. All of a sudden they get killed. The main 3 people that could have changed the whole trajectory of R. Kelly case, the daddy, the attorney, and the private investigator, all be killed before the trial started. Make sense.
Right. But see, I think that's I think the part where McDavid had kept those records, because you remember the assistant was the one that was verifying everything that was going on because she was processing his paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So that actually helped R. Kelly because the records also McDavid had as well from what he got from the attorney.
Palladino.
I mean from Palladino, and then keep in mind the lawyer that was telling McDavid just go ahead and hey, we're gonna settle, cut the check.
Yeah.
Well, he died
Jensen.
too. Yeah, he
Yep,
died.
Ed
So at the
Jensen
end of the day, he was doing everything what they was telling him to do legally. You see what I'm saying?
No, but you gotta see what McDavid was doing too. He was doing some slick shit.
Oh,
because
yeah.
R. Kelly was asking him to give the girl the payment for the rent. This fool was putting settlements on the damn check. The reason for the check, he putting settlements on the check.
Right.
What is you
no,
doing?
I got you there, but see, at the same time, keep in mind, it actually worked in R. Kelly's favor because it proved there was no conspiracy. You see what I'm saying?
But he couldn't throw R. Kelly under the bus. The reason why he couldn't throw R. Kelly under the bus because he managed all of R. Kelly's finances.
Right.
Everything.
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, let's just say, for example, he got convicted on all 13 counts. R. Kelly would have been really screwed. But the fact that the 7 charges with the conspiracy and all that stuff that he was found now guilty on, now you have something to work with when it comes to them tapes, because remember, the judge did deny bringing a forensic expert in to authenticate the tape, because his dumb ass gonna sit there and say, "Oh, she can verify the tape."
Now watch this, J-Rock. Now everybody's saying that McDavid helped R. Kelly, but if you think about it, just think about it. When I say this, boss lady, follow me now.
Okay.
R. Kelly helped Daryl McDavid because if Jennifer would have got the severance that she put in, and then it would have showed all the damn stealing that McDavid was doing.
And McDavid was stealing and how he was paying out the motherfucker. Yeah, show you wrong.
R. Kelly helped him.
True that.
Well, let's put it this way: they kind of helped each other if you really think about it.
They balanced each other out.
They balanced each other out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because think about it: when have you ever known somebody have 13 charges and beat the majority of them?
Nobody. Not in history.
Nobody. Because that's what
he would have beat them charges just standing alone as far as the settlement goes. But the paperwork, as far as like the private investigator shit, that was good to keep record. And all of a sudden, R. Kelly attorney Linda died, so he had to. Well, McDavid had to have all that to save himself.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way he couldn't save himself. He couldn't throw R. Kelly under the bus. But if Jennifer would got that severance, she could have really threw his ass under the bus for sure. Because why are you putting settlements on these payments that's just gifts? Really, you just helping this girl out with her rent. So you putting settlements, so if it come back, it look like R. Kelly was paying this girl off. Because that was the whole issue with the whole case, that R. Kelly was paying the family off. So why would you put settlements?
But he wasn't though, y'all.
But that's the thing. So why would you put settlements on the checks? And R. Kelly wasn't paying these people off. You trying to make it look like he was paying these people off, but he wasn't. McDavid is a dirty dude, man. But now he finna poke the bear, because now he's suing the federal prosecutor he want the money for the court. $800,000.
Now watch, they gonna go back and pull some shit and flip some shit, because they ain't gonna want to pay him that money. He's suing for $850, right? But guess what? They said, okay, what I've always heard to be, listen, man, when them folks get money out of you and whatever, leave that shit alone. That's what I've always heard.
Queen say, leave that shit alone.
I'm just saying, that's what I've always heard, y'all. Like, when they get money out of you and do whatever, listen, when you get out of there, you out of there. Leave that shit alone. Get what? He poking at it. Who just said he poking the bell?
But you heard what Kanye said about them Jews, though.
All right.
We all heard what Kanye said about them. They feel like they above the law.
Exactly. And get what? They pull his ass in on something else. Get what?
And look, here's the thing. I guarantee you, if that be the case, watch some stuff that'll probably come out that'll help R. Kelly as well. I don't know if y'all realize this. When they was doing the what you call it, when they be in front of the media, the
press.
The press thing. Did y'all hear him say that his son was also helping him on the case because his son just became a lawyer? See?
But you know what I liked, what I heard the most though, when Jennifer put out that tweet to say she's a defamation attorney as well.
Oh, what you say?
Chaos finna be rolling in dough, man.
That big vibe, baby. Yes, Lord. She let him know. That's why I said.
Hey. Chaos finna be rolling in dough, man. Lifetime, all them.
I don't think how much everybody want to hope to believe. I don't think Kel's going back to the industry, y'all. I
hope he don't.
I don't listen. God is not going to, allow him to go through what he's been through and allowing him to see what he see, only for him to return back to the same thing that destroyed him. Like I don't see that. I don't see that. That's just what Kel's got to accept from God. If that's what God has spoken to him, he got to accept that and move on. Get what? He'll sell out a football field because I'm down. He go to Georgia. I'm in there.
And it just seemed like so many people that every time somebody tried to pull him in to give him the information, like from Tupac to Michael Jackson,
Sam Cooke, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, the list goes on and on and on.
Just tell, like, they wanted Kells to know, like, look, man, especially Tupac. They say Tupac, like, they stopped in the middle of a busy street somewhere. They chopping it up, people blowing everything, because Pac, like, he needed to talk to him. And everybody can talk about that what it is, Sir Miguel TP, the best of both worlds, man. The best of both worlds with Kells and Pac, man. That shit would have been crazy, man. Best of both worlds with R. Kelly and Tupac.
Oh man,
man, talking about when you talk about admiring a queen, making women feel appreciated. Them two right there, wasn't nobody better than them.
And not only that, I think when R. Kelly was going after his masters, I think he was in a position, trying to position himself to get out from under the record labels, because they was already saying he was writing movies and doing scripts and stuff like that. He was basically gearing up for the second half of his life, because guess what? As you get older, they ain't gonna want to mess with you no more. So at the end of the day, you're gonna have to go independent, be on your own anyway. So he was already gearing up. So, and then you figure while he gearing up, asking these questions, then all of a sudden you got you got what came out in terms of the whole documentary and all this other kind of shit, or whatever the case may be. So in the back of his mind, he was already thinking of Plan B, but he just didn't have enough wheels behind him in order to get him to say, hey, let's go ahead and get this shit out the way. Let's get these masters. Let's get my money right. This, that, and the third. He sort of kind of almost waited too late, but at the end of the day,
it may look like that, Sir Miguel. It may look like that, Sir Miguel, but I don't think. Listen, I think Kel's still gonna do what he do, but I think he gonna do a recording studio. He gonna do all of that, and he gonna start getting artists, and it's gonna be his artists. He not gonna. Hey, it's gonna be okay. Keep talking, Sir Miguel. I'm just saying.
Oh no, what I was saying about being too late, in other words, getting out of it in front of it a little bit more. So now that he's sitting down, he's getting cleansed so he can go do that. You be able to come out when he come out, do the studio stuff and all this other kind of stuff and get his own artists and so forth and so on. Because at the end of the day, when God cleans him, he gonna be so refined that shit. I can't even explain it. I can't even describe it.
Though. A guy with that type of deficiency that he have, but got the ability to create And when you give a person like that isolation, what are they going to do? They
Be
just
more
going to
creative.
create. They're going to be more creative. So the best of art, and plus, guess what he's doing in there? Somebody in there helping him a little more now to read.
Teaching him, yes.
And teaching him how to understand reading and writing.
Reading, writing. Yep.
Because
So
from my understanding, I think they say he has a keyboard in there now.
So there you go, man. So with that being
he's
said,
creative.
you know, you isolate when you put a person back against the wall, man. Guess what they say? A scary motherfucker know how to come out of corner.
Come out, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you put me in the corner.
They say you back a dog up in the corner, baby. He come out barking and biting.
Yeah. So you put you back Kel in that corner. He gonna do what he know how to do best.
Yes.
He's gonna come out. The man not gonna lay down. And that's the biggest part about it. That's what they have done to all of our people. They always try to break us when we get to a certain height in life. They always go back to that celebrity status, superstar status. When you become an icon, guess what? It's time we got to break him. You know what I'm saying? But now you see it when these people, those are the ones that we see right now today that we say rest in peace to.
Yeah,
they have to take them out, man, and it's so sad because it's a lot of our people who sit and watch this television right before their eyes, and then when it's all over and done with, now they, damn, man, that's fucked up. They killed Pop, man. That's messed up. They killed Mike, but you watched it though. You allowed it. You went along with it. You spread it in propaganda.
Yeah.
You didn't question nothing.
Yeah.
And see, that's
anything they said.
And see, that's the thing most people don't realize. When it comes to television, they edit everything anyway, so you're not gonna get the truth anyway.
Facts.
And if you dumb enough there to sit there and listen and not go do your homework, then of course you're gonna be blind by the lies and you're gonna believe it as truth.
All you gotta do is do the opposite. Whatever they tell you on TV, think the opposite. You had an answer.
Yep.
That's it.
That's what I've stated. That, you know, whatever they say is bad for you. You don't need this. You don't need that. That's what's good for you. Okay.
But and shout out to Dr. CB too, man. Another one took them to a Supreme Court and won. You know, and all of a sudden they guess what? Because that's what my granddaddy told me. The money is not in the cure. It's in the goddamn treatment. So as long as they can treat, that's where they go. Dr. CB was gonna put a halt to their money.
Yep.
But people don't believe.
That's why they got him up out of him. That man will tell this shit, and if anybody think that man died in that jail from fucking pneumonia, hey, y'all crazy.
The man didn't even eat food.
Yep, he killed. They killed him. Allegedly. Everything we sell here, truth be told, it's education and entertainment purpose only. But they did what they did.
Man didn't even eat food. He told the whole world your body only has one sickness, and that's the mucus membrane.
The mucus, yep. The body is a self-heal. It heals itself. Yeah, they got step up out of here and get what? Check this out. When Nipsey started doing a documentary about it and everything too, as well as having to meet with the governor down there, guess what? As well as meet with the governor and the chief and all of that, for them to stop the games and stuff like that. Guess what? That's when they X him out.
It's by design. It's all by design. And every time these people can't outthink us, man. They learned from us. So how can they outthink us? But what they do is they stunt our growth. They come back after we teach them, then they come back and tell us, oh, this ain't, the way we showed them wasn't the right way. We're gonna have to do better. We're gonna have to take charge of where we going, or else just sit along for the ride. Sit along for the ride, man. And this Rkelly stuff, what's going on with Ye, I'm gonna respect him. Because he say he changed his name to Ye, not Kanye no more. So I'm gonna respect that. But You know, all these people, like my family member, I made my brother, whoever, man.
I think we have
You know, I ain't gonna miss you. You can call me and talk about all this other stuff, but we talk about some real stuff.
Repeat
You don't
what
want
you
to
just said, love. You was in the matrix for a moment. Repeat what you just said.
Oh, I was saying, like, you know, my family members and my brothers and people that call me and they call Kanye crazy, and I don't agree with that, you know, but they can figure talk about all other type of crazy stuff, you know. But if I don't agree with this situation, then you know it's like that. But you don't have to call. I don't miss nobody. I'm a single parent raising my son by myself.
Blessings to you, love. Not often do singles father get. I've discussed that on few shows back as well. Not often does single fathers get recognition.
Oh yeah, I've been doing this. I'm going into my second year. Going into my second year. My son tragically lost his mama, and I didn't have no. It was no instruction guide, no manual come with this. None of that.
Yeah.
You just had to start doing it, you know. And I've been doing it. So when it comes to my view on life and my outlook, when it comes to a lot of situations, I mean, thanks to brother Sir Miguel and other brothers that I deal with on my platform, you know, and most importantly, my grandfather and my grandma for raising me the way they did. So I'm with Ye. So I look at things the way he look at it. Like I say, I stop listening to what they saying and start trying to figure out what they not saying.
Blessings, big God, blessings. So Smitty said, I believe Kanye changing his name to Ye is positioning him for this season. Absolutely. There's a reason behind it now. As he stated, he said that and then did you all hear him when he talked about being rich and money ain't nothing? Like it ain't nothing. Like he spazzed out on it. I don't think they heard when he said it.
If I gotta risk all of this to do what God said for me to do, then God, so be it. You know, that's it. Because but see, that's the thing. That's the whole ideology of it all. They want our people value money so much.
Yes.
And we thinking that money is the way, and the whole time money is money. When they say it's the root, money only leads you to the evil.
Yep.
You gotta your spirit, man. You gotta get your spirit clean. You gotta get your life right with God.
Amen.
Because that money can't go with you to heaven, but it can lead you to hell, though.
Facts.
like I heard a brother one time say,
"It's in the kingdom being rich." What you said, Sir Miguel? I apologize, babe.
No, that's okay. I heard a brother one time say, he said, when y'all lower the casket in the ground, do you see an ATM machine on the side of it? He said, because if you do, tell me, and I'll make sure I get the money out. But at the end of the day, you already know there ain't no money going with you, so you better stop depending on it.
You gotta ask yourself, we are to be rich in spirit or rich in this world that we living in right now?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, man, look, all of our people get sold out for what? Money. Everybody out, they turn on somebody. All of our leaders were turned on by people that look like us.
Facts. Facts. Never the white man. Never the white man. They listen. They use us to destroy us. What is in what these politics that's running? Look to every last one of them. Look to all the politics now. They are called politics. Look at all the politics that has been here. Look at the politics that are running now. What color are they? Ask yourself, what color are they? You go in your downtown area, you go in your area, you just walk around the community in the neighborhood, and you just see how it's been, how it is, and how it's going to continue to look. And look at the color of your mayor, your governor, etc. The list goes on and on. Okay?
Boss lady, what I said a couple of weeks ago. If you look at the Senate and the House of Representatives, the majority of people in there are white. And most of them are either millionaires or billionaires.
Billionaires.
You know what I mean? Then you got a few melanated people in there sprinkled. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you got the so-called black caucus, which ain't doing nothing. You ain't heard You ain't heard much from them in the last 6 years.
In years. Okay. Let's go.
Okay.
Run it, Sir
So
Miguel.
if you want to talk about representation, we ain't been represented. They're representing business because it's a business.
They represent the corporation.
Yeah. Well, shit. If you go look on the what is it? The state of Delaware, it tells you that the U.S. is a corporation on their site, on their state site. It tells you that.
Facts.
That's all it is.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, the lobbyists and all these cats control everything. And the very same people that'll tell you cigarettes are bad for your health, those same people are saying, oh, we'll put money in it for this, we'll put money in it for that, but they're also selling the cigarettes as well.
Go figure. It's almost like they say, like the doctor, right? He got everybody strung out on the opioids, and then he was selling them. He was also treating them to get off of it too. So that's what they do.
You know what? But listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Many years ago, when I was young, you all, I used to work at a methadone clinic, right? And when I worked at the methadone clinic, you know, it's a clinic where they give them to get them all sick or whatever. But y'all know it's only making their habit worse. It's a dope. So this is what I never could understand, and I try to help my people understand this. Just like there is for what you call them defects, what it is, defects, DHR, Child Protective Service, whatever. When you look at that system and how it's orchestrated, it's a legal trafficking. It's a legal trafficking service. Also, when you look at it with these methadone clinics and, you know, stuff like that, it's a legal dope house. Like, make it make sense, y'all. Like, the government do so much shit.
But it's like Freeway Ricky Ross said.
Rick Ross.
As soon as they can find out a way to tax it, it'll become legal. Long as they can make money off of it, they'll make if they can make money and profit off of it, it'll become legal. But until then, they're gonna make it a crime. You know,
absolutely.
And it's crazy. And earlier, I know you had spoke on the George Floyd thing, and like I was telling people, I'm from up there. Their store, he was in is Cup Food. It's ran by it's called Cup Foods, and those guys are Muslim. They got a mosque in the basement of it and everything. And one day I was asking myself, I said, now what if there would have been a Muslim brother from that mosque with those people stood by and just not did nothing? Because we know those people have a different belief than us.
Yep. Mindset totally different.
You know, their whole mindset is different. So what they had stood there, they stood back. But since they look at it as, oh, that's just a black man, you know, so, you know, our people on so many levels, we never looked at, we don't really take into consideration how outcasted we are. And that should be enough for us to start wanting to stick together and hold each other, at least hold each other accountable. But the thing is, our people still don't know how to come together, man. We still ain't seeing what it is. Every other community, ethnicity know how to come together when it's time. But we're gonna be the ones that come together. We're gonna be in the midst of a racial war. And we're gonna be, oh, look at Pookie. Hey, where my $5 at, nigga?
Facts. Because the mentality of us, our mentality. All we focused on is Jordans, rims, golds, jewelry, BBLs, weave, fingernail. That's all our focus is.
It's crazy, man.
No coming together, no land, no nothing. That's all. Tell the truth, shine the devil. That's what our people focus on. We are more invested in, like I said, more invested in
material
shit. Being lovers of self. You get what I'm saying? No. We not gonna make it like that. We not gonna make it like that. We not
Because God said He gonna save us. They just feel like they ain't gotta do no work. And that's so not true.
Facts.
You know, I bring up one time, I don't know if Sir Miguel remember on the movie Barbershop, the first one, right? You ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
When Anthony Anderson and the dude, they had the ATM machine going there to the hotel, and he see a dude way across the street that owed him $5. He dropped the whole damn ATM machine to go take the dude over $5. You got $60,000. You know, they didn't know they didn't have the ATM machine loaded, but the idea was you got a whole ATM machine that's loaded with money. You drop it to go chase somebody that owe you $5. That's the thought, the mindset of our people. Man, I ain't think about that $5. I'm trying to go get this money that's in this machine, you know. But you almost risk your whole life to go chase a man for $5. It's the thought process, and I get on my son about it all the time, man, because I tell him the most important thing you can do in this world is think, man. That's it. Think for yourself, not what they telling you. Think for yourself, because they never gonna tell you. If they tell you don't go that way, go that way, because there's something down there they trying to prevent you from seeing.
And you know what, Big Vibe? It's something just clicked in my head. When you think about the prison system, and I sit there and I laugh at some of these cats when they get these phones and they dancing and rapping in jail. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, you're going to have teenagers watching this shit, and they're going to think that that's the cool shit to do. Not thinking that, guess what? You could be in there for the rest of your life, and all that shit you did, you still didn't get nothing out of it at the end of the day.
Man, they glorifying jail now, man.
I'm sitting there going,
I got brothers, man, brothers up north. My brothers up north, they go to jail. They like, man, they all the homies in there. They having fun. It's like a class reunion.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I think they should take, you know, people from up north and send them down to Angola, Hunts. Send them down south. What they got to put them
down south, down to Alabama.
But they still wearing them stripes. They still wearing stripes. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Two other. They got an election going on right now to pass a slavery law for these prisons in the South to still make these people wear these stripes, swinging their sling blade. Still in my hometown right now today, you go there every day. If it's sunny outside, they on side the road in these ditches with them stripes.
Yep.
Ain't nothing changed, man. And I thank God, being from Louisiana, raised in Louisiana, that gave me the knowledge, and it showed me very little, but it meant a lot when I went to a bigger city and went seeing a different dynamic of the world. I'm like, dang.
You knew that right then and there that it was more to life than just being where you were in that situation. You know what I'm saying? It's the old thing is change the playground, change the playmates that you play with on the playground. Meaning changing your area, change the people you even affiliate with. That's what I did. Look at me now, because I'm gonna tell y'all something. Like 10 years ago, this wasn't me, y'all. It wasn't me. Anybody got it. All right. And I just thank God, you know, straight out of the streets of Birmingham, Alabama, north side, south side, east side, west side. Hey, I was what I was, you know. But God, you have to first, you know, change your state of mind, you know, your mindset, and want to be better, and just, you know, do that. Want more for yourself.
Yeah, that's it. And YouTube so crazy, they'll copyright us, or they'll warn us about certain things, but they clearly promote. If you go on here, it's so many channels on YouTube. I didn't realize how many channels on YouTube talk about jail stories. Crazy. Yeah. They talk about jail like it's the new institution.
I'm gonna tell you why, Big Bad. It's because I think it was Sir Miguel. It was me, Sir Miguel, Mr. and J Rock up here. And we was discussing one night about what they do, and there was once the meetings that take place in the mansions, right? I don't know if you know about the meetings that be taking place in the mansion with these certain type of people and different people, where they pretty much target.
Yeah, they know the numbers they looking for. The age range and everything.
There you go. They target certain individuals to promote certain type of things, because as well as I know that it's the music, the beats, the hurts, the rhythms, and all of that within the music, right? So they target those type of people. You got people like that. The MB, you know what I'm talking about, NBA Youngboy, he put out certain type of music. And you got, what is his name, Thugger, and all of these people. They put out certain type of music. They rap about going to jail, being in jail, popping irks, which is, y'all know what irks is.
Yeah.
And, all of this here. This is what they promote. So then, you got these younger kids that what you call it within the brains, Mr. Bass? The dopamine. They sit up here, they hear what they hear, and they bouncing. They getting high. They geek. They want to, what did young boy say? Go and shoot the house up, nigga. I'm going about. I'm going.
I'm from Louisiana. I can't even listen to him, man.
Listen, whatever he say, y'all. Listen, that's how they rock. So you have that much influence over the people. But I'm gonna tell you something. You all also have to be mindful that when they put out this music, they do certain things over this music, and they send those spirits out. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I've sat here and I've watched some stuff, y'all, when it comes to this music industry, how they perform certain type of things over these, over stuff, and hey, it's wicked. It's weird, y'all. We is really in a spiritual war. Like they do some wicked shit.
And look how they stopped talking about the Travis Scott concert with all that shit that went on. It just died off the face of the earth. Like nobody talk about it no more.
I was there. Whew, I was there when I had awakened. I don't know if y'all know what I mean. Just catch what I'm about to say. I had seen this months before it happened, y'all. I was not aware until it happened. I still was not aware when it happened. It took my daughter and my individuals and my coworkers to tell me. And when I went to see it, I was like, oh my God, it was like something totally took place within my body. Now, God had instructed me to fast that week, like beginning of that week. So I went on the fast, and I was due to stop my fast like that Thursday. So I was like, no, Lord, I'm gonna go an extra day. So I went the extra day, which was that Friday. Yeah, I had went to sleep, and when I went to sleep, it was like that night. My body the next morning to get up and get my individuals ready, to prepare them for their day. Y'all, I couldn't get up. It was like my whole soul. And I was like, Lord, I had to call on the Lord. I'm like, Lord Jesus, please help me. What's going on? So I was not aware at that moment until, God, explained some things to me. When I went on the fast and did all of that, you all, like your shell can be in one place, but your soul can be off elsewhere. Spirit. Are y'all understand what I'm saying?
I clearly understand what you're saying.
Okay, a lot of people don't. They might think I'm crazy, but only the ones that know what they know what I know what it is. So I woke up that next morning and I couldn't understand like why I was so. It's like I had been fighting and I was warring, y'all. Only until God spoke to me and I was like, oh my God, like that's what happened. Like I wasn't aware, you know what I'm saying? But it's well. But yeah, he sacrificed, conniving. Also, there was some more people that was given the same dream, such as that pertaining to that I had been given. So we all were on an assignment. So if we had not have been obedient when the Lord spoke and pertaining to that, there would have been more casualties. That's why I said that my shell was here, but I was off there. Yeah, so okay, know what y'all know.
It's deep, man. They sit there and use all this type of, all that type of music and stuff, and they got pie charts. This is how they keep up with how many prisons they need to build. They keep up, like right now the biggest industry is pharmacy and like this pharmaceutical and what they call the places where you take the dead bodies. Morgues, man. Like in these big cities like Chicago, Minneapolis, Dallas, Texas, it's bad out here right now. Like, it's like man, like you can't even you have an accident with a person. Even
I heard so much the road rage up there in Texas is bad.
Oh yeah,
and that's where majority of their killings coming in. It on them highways and byways, they gunning them down left and right.
Man, and then it's an open carry state, so you don't have to have license to like carry firearm, any of that stuff like this. So now a simple confrontation, my bad, that you could be like, my bad, that's an accident. Now more got a gun on their side. They they rah. Like it ain't no the gun takes away the level of understanding. Even if there's no threat. Just because you got it, you wanna, stand tall. Like, man, I respect the right to have a weapon, but man, look, they making this I call it the Wild Wild West out here.
But that was their intention. Everything they do is by design. You literally think that they passed the law in all these states, y'all, that anybody could carry a weapon? Come on, y'all. It's always by design. They sit around at tables. That's how they did when they came with the projects, the plan for the projects, the plan for the drugs, the plan for the guns, the plan for the music. Guess what? They all sat around the table and they organized it. You get what I'm saying? And that's just where we at with it.
It's funny you was talking about the table. I remember when I think it was Bobby Smurda. When I think it was either before he went to jail or either after he went to jail, after he got out. He was doing a song and he was dancing and singing his rap lyrics on top of the table. And I'm sitting there listening, watching all these white people sit around the table. I'm going, it's amazing. It's amazing to me. The very same people that you're going to get a record deal, they don't care nothing about you per se. They already know that what you bring into the table is going to make them rich anyway. So they're going to use you anyway.
Facts. And look what they did.
Boom.
Look what they did and look how they did them. And now he get out, allegedly. Ain't he wrapping up with men now? She men's? Allegedly.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's what they saying. But
hey, it was if I'm not mistaken, I was just going through YouTube. I be doing my little strolling when I be putting my content together, and hey, somebody had a whole pitch out here. So
what they say? Why he damn? Why he popping his butt like that? So
what?
I said, and I know it was something I forgot to mention. Man, you know what? I did a video. Sermon, I don't know if you seen it last week when I did about 50 Cent got the new show coming out called Hip Hop Homicide. Now I'm starting to question what did him trying to come at Ye about his comments and his show that he got coming out is called Hip Hop Homicide. He talk pretty much he is attacking him. A lot of the people on the photo is artists that were signed to Empire that were killed and gunned down, that were killed. And he's supposed to be like investigating these deaths. So the show is called Hip Hop Homicide. And it's
it's question, Big Vi. So is 50 about to expose?
That's what That's what I'm trying to see. But then when I hear him speak on when I see him speak on Ye interview, now I'm like, hold on, this mother acting like he got some sense, or these people got something on him. So I don't know what his approach is, but if you have time to look it up and make sure you share with your people, it's called Hip Hop Homicide, and it's 50 Cent and it's another guy.
Oh, I know about it. I know about it. I haven't seen it, but I pretty much heard about it because before truth be told, before we created our own channel, we was actually somewhere else. Me, Mr. Bass, Trey Lynn, V, all the ones you see here now, we were actually somewhere else, and not speaking on it, but anywho, that's something that he decided to do. And a little shortly after that is when 50 started talking about doing that as well.
Yeah.
So they kind of had he had some back and forth, and then the real ghost came on the show. 50, they had taken this man's whole life.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot went on over there, and so I am aware of the Hip Hop Homicide, but I didn't know that it started just like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's finna be coming. So we're gonna see if he gonna speak on Gazi, but him speaking on Ye right now, 50.
What is he saying about Ye? I haven't seen. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen it ever since. Listen, when he made Go Shout It's Your Birthday and say you a wankster, after that, I've been done with him. Listen, I ain't even like the window shopper because I don't window shop. I buy what I want. So listen, when it came with wankster and Go Shout It, I don't do that, man. Okay, because he came out as one person, and then his actions speak as that another one. So I can rock with that, being that I come from the streets, so I can't. So what he's saying is speaking on Ye.
Yeah, he just talking about like the narrative. He carrying the narrative is Kanye losing his mind.
Oh.
Y'all know by now. Y'all know by now.
They did say he was the federal.
But he probably mad. You remember Kanye outsold him when they had that little duel when him and Kanye put out an album the same day, and Kanye outsold him by hundreds of millions.
Yeah, and then you right, Parch, how he treat his son. Is he trying to sacrifice that boy over there though?
Nah, I kind of. Well, I think with the whole thing with his son is that just even hearing from his son, because at first he was given, I think, giving her $25,000 a month or something like that. Then she wanted the mother wanted more, and then of course when they went to court, it got dropped down to $6,700. The son saying,
but you got to realize, Sir Miguel, not to cut you off. But man, these folks is in New York. What the hell these folks could possibly do with 67? Man, that's not even. Listen, it ain't been easy.
They end up moving to Atlanta. But what it was, because he wasn't living with him at the time, or something, and he had bought them a house or whatever it was. But I guess the mother or something didn't want to work or something. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it seemed like them two been going back and forth for years for whatever reason or another. And I think
he's never been there, Sir Miguel. What other reason why a young man would be going like that at his father? Because he's never been there. So much has took place. I remember he dogged that young man out through the media on these streets here. I remember that. Told him he wouldn't heal us at one point as well. Okay? Sure, not forget nothing. That was very hurtful.
But I don't know the gist of the whole story or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of the day, as a father or a son or whatever, I think some stuff just don't need to be said in the media on both parts.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I think at some point they need to come together and try to figure something out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I tell people I have an issue with the whole child support system anyway. Even let's just take, for example, a married couple. The father been there the whole time, taking care of the kids, helping out. Y'all get a divorce, and then you say, "Oh, you want X amount of dollars." Why are you putting the man on child support when he been there from day one?
Facts. I mean, anytime. I mean, to each his own. But to anybody that like the system like that. I mean, me personally, I don't. Like I said, I have 5 kids. I raised mine on my own. I mean, you can't put a price on a child, yo. Like, you cannot put a price on a child. That's just what I think.
Key word, you just said it right there. Key word, you can't put a price on a child.
You can't.
Key word.
And I mean,
And
children ain't spend no money. They want their relationship, yo, like that.
Exactly.
So I've never done it because, I mean, how you gonna tell me what my child worth? Like you can't do that. And I raised mine on my own without, so I'm good.
But see, that's the thing. The whole system is set up on money. No.
Yep.
And I'll bring it to this.
Our men, Sir Miguel.
Right. But see, that's the thing. I tell people, go back and look when all these different programs started and understand why they started.
All right.
Because once you take the man out the household, the government can come in and do and say whatever they want to say.
Sure.
But you see what I'm saying? So it's no different when, and I tell people this all. I ask people this question all the time. Where in the Bible did God say you need a marriage license? It's costing you, so you're allowing the state to come in when you get that divorce to say how much you gonna split between each other. If y'all can go to the altar together and y'all can be up under each other, you should be able to settle your differences amicably through a divorce or a mediation without the government. Period.
Well, mine don't want to divorce me. He don't want to divorce me. I done sent him to spending money. But get what? I ain't even worried about it because guess what God spoke? When he moved me away from him 5.5 years ago, that was our separation. So it's nothing. That's why he still constantly bless me. Okay, let's talk about it.
So, and I even go back to the word. What did God say? I don't even want to say it because I don't want to get it wrong, but it's in my head. I just can't get it out right.
Where's Sir Miguel?
Oh my gracious.
Mr. Bass, you still there with us?
Oh my gracious, I can't get it out, sis. Shit.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, listen, chop it up with Sir Miguel and Big Vi for about 5 minutes. Let me make my round real quick because I haven't made the chat, y'all. I'll be right back.
I can't even think of it right now, but it's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think of it right off hand. Yeah, it'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Yeah, well, the whole media and educational system is no longer teaching; it's indoctrination. And that's why we had, that's why we had these. That's why these kids so messed up, and the whole rap scene and the prison system, the private prison system. They had a secret meeting, and a couple of the guys walked out the meeting, but they were under that gag type of thing where what do you call it? When you can't disclose what's going on in the meeting.
Oh, you talking about like an NDA or something like that?
Yeah, there you go. Non-disclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and there
crazy.
was a couple of guys that were there that was talking about it. And Michael Jordan, all them was involved in that private prison thing, man. And that's what all this so stupid rap where they talking about killing and going to jail, and I saw all that was said what they was gonna do, and they was gonna squash any knowledgeable type of rap that came out. It wasn't going to happen.
Right.
Yep. Welcome, J Rock.
Because doesn't MJ own stock in private prisons or something like that? I heard.
Yes, sir. A bunch of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he ain't the only one either, but he's the most prominent one.
Right. Okay.
J Rock, how you doing, brother? Peace and blessings.
What's up, brother J Rock?
Mr. Bass, how you doing? Peace and blessings to you. Sir Miguel, what's good, man?
What's good, brother?
Big Vibe, what's the business, man? What's going on?
I think he on mute right now.
Yeah, he on mute, probably a little bit busy and whatnot. But yeah, y'all went back to something. Yeah, the secret meeting that changed hip hop and destroyed a generation. Yeah,
yes, sir.
I remember the article well. Matter of fact, the article. Matter of fact, I believe the whole meeting started. If I'm not mistaken, I heard it was like 1991.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, and that's when that meeting actually started. And when the guy said they were just some unfamiliar people, looked like they were in. They didn't have anything to do with the world of entertainment, but they had a vested interest in the message and the direction and what they wanted to push. And i.e., the direction of the music, when you have certain individuals, like you said, invested in private prisons, maybe even some of them in the law enforcement, criminal justice realm, would not even be surprised at all if because you've always heard stories about the quote unquote hip hop police back in the day when Oz talked about it. So some of those same individuals that probably been head of those units was probably in that meeting too.
Fact.
I believe they still. I believe they're still around, but they're doing it more quietly through social media, of course. Because I think, matter of fact, Crazy Bone on his podcast was talking about that meeting as well.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, somebody else in the chat, I think it was Parch. He said something in the chat about how Crazy Bone brought that up. I gotta pull up that segment when you talked about it. Was that on his I'm assuming it was on a podcast he had, or was he on somebody else's show, or what?
No, it was on his podcast.
Okay.
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
I forget the name of it. He has a podcast. He talks about it. He goes in deep.
Okay, well, I'm definitely gonna have to look that up then, because obviously if it's talking about that meeting, and then you know how close Bone was to Easy, so and and I'm sure they got their own feelings about what really happened to Easy.
Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Matter of fact, I personally feel like he didn't die of AIDS in the first place. I think something else happened. Because it happened too fast, number one. And I think he was going in another direction in terms of the music business and stuff like that.
You know what, Sir Miguel, I don't disagree with you, because especially what you just said, the speed of it happening, because Easy died the spring of '95, and he had just brought out Bone Thugs and Harmony, and he had his album came out, and that lead single, Real Motherfucking G's, it came out, and that was in '94. And I mean, the turnaround, I mean, it was almost like the time frame from the time he actually came out with those projects to the time he died. It's almost the same time length from the time when Pac released when Pac released All Eyes on Me to his death. The time frame, and when I thought about it, I said, damn, the time frame is pretty damn close. Because we're talking about 8 months from the time All Eyes on Me came out to the time Pac died.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about what, 8.5 to 9 months from the time he did that project with Bone, when it started. Bone was on tour, started
Mm-hmm.
picking up to the time
Yep.
of his death.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember in '94 I was on the same plane with Bone Thugs and them, because I had just finished school.
Wow.
And I was coming back to LA. We was all sitting next to each other. They laughing, talking, having drinks or whatever, this, that, and the third. And we get off the plane. Easy come pick them up.
You want me to run?
I met Lil Richard at the same time. But what's funny is a couple of months, he was either in the same year, I think Easy had just had a physical for health insurance. I mean, for life insurance for like $1 million, so forth and so on. So you would have detected all of that stuff during that time, or whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, he less than a year later, 6 or 7 months later, he gone.
Exactly my point. I mean, he was like,
and mind you, not only that, remember, he went to the White House.
Yeah, Easy had started exposing things, you all. They stuck him with that shit and gave him that. He didn't. That's why his son doesn't have it. The mama doesn't have it. Neither the women he dealt with had it. It's because they stuck it and they gave it to him within their hospital. Let's go, y'all. Allegedly, fellas. Allegedly.
I'm quite sure if Tamika had it, she would have came out and said something at the end of the day. And the only reason why I say that,
I agree.
The only reason why I say that, because her and my sister are kind of close. A world of
okay.
You know what I'm saying? And his grandmother lived right down the street.
Mr. Bass about to play
Lived right down the street from where I grew up at. Okay.
You can keep talking, Sir Miguel or J Rock, whichever one it was. You all keep talking until he pulled the link up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I just find the whole thing kind of crazy, kind of eerie.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that time frame. I mean, when you brought it up, and I had me think, I'm like, that was a real quick turnaround from the time he had those projects and everything that he had already out.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like Easy was really starting to kind of blow back up again.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the talk about the NWA reunion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was also possibly on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, there it is.
This rap music and destroyed a generation. Damn. So it says, hello. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day, while I simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for. Damn. Hold on, let me
So we're gonna tell a story.
We're gonna tell a story. We ain't scared.
You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do?
They after us, not scared.
Look, that black man.
So look, so he says, between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted.
Right.
This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business with business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music's new direction.
Yeah.
Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Right.
So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there.
Right.
Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip hop.
Talk to him.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign a confidentiality agreement preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me.
That's right.
A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected all the agreements from us. So now I'm going to get to the good part because the meeting about to start.
Talk to him, Jake.
It says, quickly after the meeting began, hold on one second.
Get your popcorn, y'all.
Popcorn, get your pistol. No,
for real though.
Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable and the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promotes criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies. And as employees, we also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My days was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun, and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd, and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague, who opened up the meeting earlier, hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly, or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him, why was he involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we can do. And no, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences. We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. It's out of my hands now. Just remember, you signed an agreement. He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Damn.
So this meeting, bro.
Now that's a lot for a meeting right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and later on he said, you know, this person actually ended up leaving the music industry after this happened. With a few years after this, he ended up leaving the music industry.
Right.
And he said he just, like, you know, over the years he just felt guilty because he said as he sat back and he watched these plans come to a reality
over 2 decades,
he sat back and was like, wow, they really pulled it off.
Yeah,
they really pulled this off. He was like, they were told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messages in their music.
No positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music that they promoted and put out.
So if you wonder where Brand Nubians went, where Pro Righteous Teachers went, where Public Enemy went, where KRS-One went, and all sorts of groups like that was talking, even Queen Latifah and Moni Love and those, you know,
everybody.
It's a back door.
Yeah, anything that was harmless, fun rap, you know, anything that had a message in it had to go.
Yeah, that's why if you even notice though,
we talk about that all the time.
Even be brief with it, you know what I'm saying? Those charms that came out like maybe in 1988, 89, the African charms, those they lasted for about 2 years and they disappeared real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Now, after reading all this, you know, it actually made me feel a few different ways. The first emotion I felt was shocked because I was definitely taken back by this, just knowing the level of evil that's involved by even thinking of a plan like this. You know what I'm saying? The second emotion I felt was anger because it's not enough for them to exploit our culture and make all the money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's keep it real, the industry has never been favorable towards the artists. Never. But they're going to go beyond the artists to get the artist to influence and lure in the consumer, which they knew at the time were mainly minorities.
Yep.
In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, which in turn will incite them to want to act like them. And it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison.
Yeah.
So they're getting paid twice. They're getting paid from the artists they signing, and then they're getting paid from the people that these artists influence that goes to prison trying to be like these artists.
Yeah.
So they making a killing.
A killing.
They're using the music business to promote their private prison business.
My man is right there talking that right. 1988, a man named Tom Beasley, man. That's the co-founder of the corrections for Corporation of America. That's the CCA. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French. I'm reading this thing right there real quick. It's the CCA. So in 1988, he founded that, and this is in straight concert with the same thing. So it's like the music business. You do what you do on your side, and over here with the correction facilities, we're gonna do on this side because. And now in 1970, there was 500 prisons. You know what I'm saying? Only 500 prisons in the United States. To this day, there's 1,700 prisons right now. That means big business. I'm talking about that. Then flip it over. You know what I'm saying? If flip it over is a word. because they're making a lot of money off of these things per inmate. You know what I'm saying? So getting with the same thing of the music, it all went hand in hand, and we just partying at the same time.
So us as the artists is the tool they use.
Yeah.
The music is the bait.
Yep.
And the young consumers are the prey. It's a cold game.
Cold game, bro.
Cold
you know what I'm
game.
saying?
Then I feel sad. Sad because everything we seem to try to create, we always seem to give it away. We're always being tricked and deceived into believing that they have our best interests at hand when clearly they never have and they never will. They never will have our best interests at hand. It's blow after blow after blow after blow.
But there it is. That was deep. Thanks, boss lady.
You welcome, Mr. Bass. Yeah, y'all. So there y'all have it. And so then it make you think, okay, so check this out, you all. It makes you think that, when these rappers be rapping, and back then, due to MJ also being a shareholder, stocks and got all this, and he invests in the privatizing the prison system or whatever. It makes you think when the rappers used to be rapping about the Jordans and all of this, and when they would say certain things and getting these youngins to act on that, far as like getting the tennis shoes, getting the guns, doing the drugs, like I don't know, it just make you think. Like they was promoting all of this, like he said, to fill the prisons, right? So that made MJ's pocket, like I know down in Birmingham, Alabama, man, y'all be amazed that so many people lives that has gotten taken over a pair of Jordans, y'all. Standing in the line for some Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
So, it just makes you, I be just thinking a lot, y'all. But y'all can keep going.
And also the ones that had their Jordans taken from them and didn't want to give them up and ended up getting killed over them shoes.
Facts.
And see, and another thing that people don't realize, and I remember Ice Cube and said they went to his first concert. He thought he was going to see a lot of black kids, but it was a lot of white kids. And come to find out, when they did it, they said white kids buy more rap music than black kids, right? But what's funny is the black kids do the damage in terms of the killing amongst each other, whereas the white kids are profiting and doing their thing, and it's quiet as a church mouse. And I go back again with the whole thing with Bobby Smurder dancing on the table, but all the people that were sitting at the table were all white folks. You think they going home listening to rap music? Hell no.
That's a fact.
Well, we know who the people were that was standing in their little group. You know who they were.
Them oohs, them oohs, them oohs.
Yeah.
So
praying on people.
I'm gonna say it like this: if you got, I'm gonna say entities, not just individuals, but if you got entities out there that's putting together a whole scheme, a whole plot, an elaborate plan to this level to change the direction of an entire musical genre, and at the same time potentially a direction of an entire generation of youth, what makes you think that they couldn't use a part of that same type of power and dynamic to go after arguably the greatest singer-songwriter of the modern era? What makes you think that that's not possible? even though that's rhetorical, but you get where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
People don't even and how people don't even put two and two together with that is beyond me.
Mm-hmm. You have it. I mean, J-Rock is there. It's there. That just shows the level of control and power that they have. You heard what he said. They got upped on and was like, how dare you? And then you see how quick they slicked them. He said they was asked to sign a non-disclosure form, an NDA, which is a non-disclosure. So he said, don't forget you signed that. You see how they did it. So just imagine that's what happens with the contracts. That's what happened with the contracts.
And then when the chaos went out, when the chaos broke out and they were leaving, the fact that they said that the guys made sure that they drove off.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't even go. I guess the bodyguards, whoever the case may be, they didn't even turn around and walk in the house. They waited until they actually just pulled off and just drove away altogether. I'm guessing they didn't even look. That they didn't even say, okay, they put on the driveway. They made sure that they was probably out of the driveway and down the street.
Yeah. And just think about, okay, like, you know how you watch the television show. When I used to watch TVs back then, you know how you've watched a television show where you have those guards, they have those things in their ear, and they pretty much stand at attention, and they stand at the end with they left over right hand with the legs wide. Like, I'm just wondering, like, I could just see that scene right now. Just wondering if that's how they stood. They weren't like extra bodyguards, but they was more like some shit that probably Secret Service type shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm just visioning that scene.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, it's been a night.
You can almost see like one of those, almost like a smoke-filled room, lights dim, and then you probably got maybe 3 or 4 guys in the back part of the room. You can see like silhouettes, but you can't see their faces or anything.
Wow, it's real deep, y'all. Like, and then just imagine how Crazy Bone said so many years he had that on the inside because he knew that if he had been came out with it, just think about what could have happened to him, you all. But you all listen to him, like, he didn't say, only difference that he said was that there were people, and we pretty much know who those people would be, and he talked about how they was gonna do what they was gonna do and all this. It pretty much, here we go again, back at ye, y'all, back at ye. What ye said, it's all just running in and colliding within itself.
You know what? Hearing this, it kind of reminds me of because I've had my my own thing about superhero comics, superhero like you might see stories like Superman, Spider-Man, Batman in particular. There was a group in the Batman series called the Court of Owls. And the Court of Owls, they were like the elites of Gotham City. And they always had these secret rooms, secret meetings. And they actually kind of pulled the strings of Gotham. But nobody knew who they were. And they were always had some type of influence over the city. That, hearing that story about that meeting, it sounded exactly like that.
What that kind of remind me of? What is it? The Bilderbergs? with those cats. You hear about them having meetings, but you don't know who's really inside of it.
Right. Exactly. And see when you talked about that meeting, and I'm just thinking about that's what it sounded like to me. The whole thing with the Court of Owls. And the funny thing is, they always wore masks too. So you never knew their identity.
Right.
And I mean, like this. But when I first read that story, my mouth dropped. I was just completely floored. I mean, I was thinking back. I was just literally on a mental Rolodex, just rolling back the years, like prior to 91. Who was some of the more popular rappers prior to 91? You had Public Enemy was one of the most popular rap groups.
Mm-hmm.
KRS-One,
mm-hmm.
Eric B. Rakim, Big Daddy Kane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Crazy Bone said himself, we talk about Poor Righteous Teachers, and then you talk about De La Soul, Queen Latifah,
Mm-hmm.
Money Love, Jungle Brothers, that whole Tribe Called Quest, that whole Native Tongues clique back in the day. So yeah, and all of them were jumping off prior to 91.
And it's funny, they quietly just faded away.
And I was like, and I guess what really got me was when I when I read it and then hearing it again, and then I've been just going back, I'm just like, it made sense. Because you always wonder, why didn't this group blow up? Why didn't this group blow up? Why didn't this artist blow up? This artist has some dope content. This artist has some dope content.
Mm-hmm.
And they were never able to get their footing in the industry like that again.
Well, it's just like I said a while back there, Rock. It's the same thing with the news. And I learned this when I was doing an intern with NBC. It
Yeah, when
costs
you
too much.
said that, when you broke that down, bro, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it costs too much money, too much time.
And not only that, family, like y'all check this out. So how about you see how tricky that devil is? Now listen, now that's what they sat around the table and did. I'm sorry, I'll just be sitting here. I'm sitting here thinking, fellas. So look how they sat around the table and they came up with that master plan, right? Now look at it so many years fast forward with them rapping the type of way that they targeted and told them to rap. Now look what they doing. They hitting them all with recalls. You see the setup they did?
Mm-hmm. And see, the sad part about it is too, when these cats, and I know they living in the hood and so forth and so on, you want to get out. But when you start putting that stuff pen to paper, and then you make a video and you put it on social media, and you sort of kind of forget about it because once you get signed, you're like, oh, I got the money now. Then you add more to it, not realizing. And I keep telling people, social media has been one of the biggest tellers of criminals because guess what? They watching your activity.
Mm-hmm.
Every police station in America has a social media task force.
Yep.
And they sitting there watching.
And you know the funny part about it? They don't have to watch long because they telling on their own self.
Exactly.
But they so dumb, they try to delete the shit. You can't delete nothing you put on the internet, man.
Nothing.
Nothing you put on the internet can be deleted. And these meetings, them private meetings, man. We heard Tupac talk about them private meetings.
And see,
these meetings, man.
And I see, I wonder about those private meetings, because how often do they have them private meetings, especially when those election cycles come around?
Shit, they had one Quincy, because they were saying allegedly Quincy Jones was the one behind the blackballing of Bill Cosby.
Yep, allegedly.
The private meeting, you know, Quincy wanted Tupac to hit him.
Asshole wide as an ocean. Oh, allegedly.
Damn.
Everybody not gonna conform to this.
CD,
shit, man.
CD too. All of them. CD, them the ones you gotta run up in them to get them. Allegedly, but keep going.
Allegedly. Man, look at brother DMX, man. How he struggle with how successfully just died, just like, man. I just don't believe in this shit. I mean, not saying it can't happen, but man.
But you know what? I remember when all the stuff was going on with Rkelly had just started to break out with the documentary and everything came out. TMZ interviewed Quincy Jones, and they asked Quincy, I think it was TMZ or somebody else. I want to say it was
Look
TMZ.
who you said, J Rock. Oh, okay, let's go. Keep talking. TMZ.
That interview Quincy Jones, and they actually said, well, what is it that's going on that's bringing all this stuff against Rkelly, all this motion against Rkelly and everything? And Quincy Jones said one word: power. And who will?
He did.
Wow.
He did.
He said one word in pertaining to kills, and that was power.
Yep.
Wow, I wonder what he meant. Well, we know what he meant, but wow.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember the exact how the question was worded by the reporter, but it was on the lines, like I said, in regards to the allegations against him, or everything that he's been dealing with going, and what could happen going forward. But Quincy Jones did say that one word: power.
Yeah, allegedly he made a lot of them life a living hell. It make you wonder, like, is it that's why they crash out and do the things that they do? Because they feel like once when they pull their little broke back mountain moves, they feel less than a man because they've had to endure all of this to get to that. I don't know, y'all. Allegedly,
Man, but that go back to us. Even Dave Chappelle calling out Hollywood.
Yep, they said Dave Chappelle was crazy. Remember?
Yep, Dave Chappelle left. He said he was in Hollywood. He ran into what did he say? He ran into Martin Lawrence. Said he was passed out in the middle of the road. And he's like, he woke him up, like, man, what dude, like, what's up? You passed out in the middle of the road. Say Martin Lawrence, like, man, I don't know what happened, but there was the best rest I'd had in a long time or something. And like Dave was just telling, like, and it's just so crazy, man, to where our people started running to these people for success.
Yep.
And they are making it that way because every time one of our own become powerful enough to create the way for themselves, then they get taken out. Like, even people were so happy about Tyler Perry getting his studio, buying the plantation, building his own studio.
All right, you said it right, Big Vi.
Right. But now, what is he like? Why isn't all black movies shot through that studio? Because he's still controlled by somebody.
Facts. And guess what? When he came out wearing them dresses and playing who he played, you knew what time it was then. Then when he got his own little private island where y'all aware of that.
What Dave say, if I gotta put on a dress, it won't happen. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been creating it. They've been at first it started with their people, and then they slowly switched it over to our people. Now mostly you see our people with these feminine activity, and now you starting to see it in the homes. Now they trying to tell us that kids as young as 6 or 7 years old can identify.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's at birth. What the fuck?
Exactly. Making medication for them, making laws that they can get changed. Man, listen here.
Man, make it make sense.
Out, but it is what it is.
Man.
Ain't no way in hell. Listen, you about 10 years old, boy, or good. Don't come around here switching and tell me what's up, my nigga. Like, hey, no, we not gonna do all that, okay? See, cause get what? First and foremost, you don't know nothing about it. Your mind has not even,
No.
Like, exactly. So, but that goes back to what they are watching. Please be advised that they catch them in these cartoons, y'all, like in these Disney cartoons, The Lion King, and all these things right here.
JoJo CY, all the kids cartoon.
Listen, sexual gestures. Like, let me tell you something. What were we watching? And he talked about some cartoon person being it was a little boy, but he looked at like a little girl. Was it Snoopy? It was something that it's an old school, and I was like,
I think that was a Charlie Brown.
Yeah. And Charlie was a girl, but they call it a boy, and he, and I'm like, the hell. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's still adults, man. It's still men and women out here that got parents like those older parents. They may be out here in the world living, acting the way they act, but when they say we going home, them all that twisting and shit come up out of them. Because you not welcome home like that.
Yeah.
It's just certain. Why do people got to confine to something that they're against? You know what I'm saying? Or not even say against, but if my spirit is what my belief is what my belief is, then look, I don't have nothing against you. But don't force that up on, like, now they forcing it into the kids through television. In this music videos, and even with Young Thug, like, how, man, you on a RICO, you go from wearing a dress to being in a RICO indictment.
Exactly.
And now you see Lil Nas X in the dress in a new commercial that I just saw earlier today.
You see what I'm saying? He got everybody talking about Old Town Road. Come to find out, or hey Panini, don't you be so mean. This man talking about another man, and I'm sitting here. My son tell me, Dad, did you know this? I'm like, what? You like? I'm like, what? I'm like, man, I better not ever catch you listening to no. That I don't listen to stuff like that, but
see, when they young like that, now see, when you grown and when you are adult or whatever, your life is your life. Do what the fuck you do. Do as you please, okay? Do it. But when you pushing it on these babies, that's what I got a problem with it. These babies, where you're making them confused, you're confusing their minds. It is the babies, and you're putting it all across the media. Like I said, every grown person to each his own, okay? But however, the babies.
And for us, in the Bible say we all created in God's likeness and image. So why, and if you go and change your image to satisfy your personal preference, that's against God's will.
Yeah. If you gonna be like that, stay who you be. Keep your pants below your, whatever. Put your dress on, and do what you do. But like I said, once again, when you're making it fit for the kids and trying to make everybody uncomfortable and walk on eggshells because you can't stand to hear one little thing, then it's a problem. It's really a problem.
And another thing I caught the other morning, just so happened I was getting off work. I'm riding, listening to my phone just playing. I tell people go and look up Google the number of births in our community compared to the number of births in the Caucasian community. The numbers in the Caucasian community are drastically dropping. Drastically dropping. So now they understand it. And what they're doing to trying to balance their numbers, that's why you seeing a lot of these illegal immigrants coming into this country, because they counting them as Caucasian to try to keep up with what we're doing. And now they don't want us, they trying to stop us from reproducing by indoctrinating this same sex shit.
Yep.
And at the same time, they overturned Roe v. Wade.
Yep.
You know what?
That was the happiest day of my life. I was like, oh, I think I went out of 8 hours jumping and clapping. I don't know what I did, y'all. I was happy.
You know what? What I caught the other day that really shocked me. Well, not shocked me, but just kind of made my jaw drop. You get a chance, go back and check out some of Shahrazad Ali's old videos. And the stuff that and the things that she said over 30 years ago. And to look at it now, I mean, it's playing out just like she said.
Sure is.
I mean, everything down to the molecule. It is played out exactly when they talked about when she brought up the abortions, and she talked about how people talking about, well, the whole we don't need a man, we don't need a men movement, and then we turn to celibacy or lesbianism, and how that is actually going on the rise, and now with the rise of LGBT community now. So it's like everything she said over 30 years ago has now has utterly come to pass.
And keep in mind, it was saying she was crazy.
Sure did. And then it was talking about when her book was selling, the publisher was talking about, okay, you made enough money. Like, since when? But all of a sudden, so you're gonna tell me I done made enough money? Okay, why don't you tell IBM that they made enough money? Why don't you tell Nike they made enough money? Why don't you tell them that they made enough money? But when you come to me, all of a sudden I made enough money now.
And you know what's funny, J-Rock? A lot of her stuff they putting on YouTube now. That's what I tripped off of too. I mean on YouTube, on Instagram. On Instagram. I said, wow.
Oh yeah, and everybody that was coming out of at her neck all those years ago, now all of a sudden they now quietly endorsing what she's saying. They're not being loud about it, but they like but they kind of like they kind of walking back some of the stuff that they said all those years ago. And I think in particular, it was it was one particular woman in particular. Who's the woman that always that used to be on Oprah's show all the time?
Shit, you lost me there, J-Rock.
Me too.
You're not talking about Gayle King, are you?
Oh no. She had a show on the Oprah network.
Damn. Was she black?
Yes. Oh yeah, she black. Everybody.
You're not talking about God damn it.
Help us out in the comment section. Help us out up in there.
You're not talking about Rolanda, are you? Rolanda Watts, you're not talking about her, are you?
Iyanla Vanzant. That's who it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Parch.
Thank you, Parch.
It was Iyanla Vanzant because she was, I think she was strongly disagreeing with Shahrazad on one talk show in particular. I don't know if it was Donahue or if it was Geraldo. It was one of them. But Iyanla was on there. And now
I think that was Donahue.
Okay, it might have been Donahue. And now you go back, she was on Sway or she was on somebody's show, and then she was talking about how the women now in our community is out of order. And I'm like, damn, Shahrazad said the same thing back in 91.
Well, so you also got to remember in the early 90s, they was also talking about women empowerment too.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people forget that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you fast forward 2022, same thing coming up again, because Boss Lady says this all the time, which is a true fact. It's God, man, woman, child.
Facts.
So now what they're trying to do is say God, woman, child, man.
Right.
A God, woman.
Yeah. Because now let's take this for example. A mother doesn't have to go into the doctor's room with their child at 14.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically telling a child.
They making it worse to Sir Miguel. I don't know if it's the law up there where you are, but unfortunately, law down here, they have it where if your child is 11, 12 years old and you take him or her to their physical doctor's appointment, they have it where you don't have to discuss. Your child does not have to discuss. Neither does the doctor have to discuss anything with you. Like the hell, that's a lie.
Correct.
Whatever the child discusses with the doctor, their child signs a paper. He or she don't have to discuss anything just as well as the doctor with the parent. Where they get that shit from? This motherfucker still under my roof at 11, 12. You crazy as the shit.
Yeah,
but that's the law. That's what they're making.
Yeah, they do the same thing here. And see, the sad part about it is they know for a fact that the brain does not fully develop until between 25 and 27.
Facts.
A child is not going to understand those medical terms when they're signing shit anyway. So all you're doing is saying, "Oh, you don't have to have your parents in here. It's okay. You have the right." Da, 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 da. Kids don't know about no fucking rights.
Facts.
But the sad part about it is that child go kill somebody at 14 or 15. You say, "Oh, we can charge them as an adult."
Okay.
Right. So now, he knows right. He or she knows right from wrong, but they can go be up in the prison with 35, 40-year-old men and women whose mind is already set and can still be manipulated again.
Yep.
So you're telling parents that they have no rights. So if you fast forward now, think about freedom of speech. They're already showing you and telling you that your freedom of speech is being limited even based on your opinion.
True that.
Oh, so now I can go sue.
And going back to what you said, like you said, well, they're 14, 15, they know right from wrong. So now they go to the fact like, well, they can now be tried as an adult.
And see, the sad part about it is, I learned a lot of stuff when I was a social worker as well, just based on the laws and the welfare penal codes and stuff. You'd be surprised, man, of some of the stuff they put out there and how it's like Boss Lady said, it's legal trafficking of kids, which it is, because most of the calls that come into the call center are mostly general neglect calls. That's basically what it is. It don't have nothing to do with child abuse. I got in trouble one time. I had a case where a lady was living in a trailer park, filthy as shit. So instead of me coming up, writing the case up or whatever to remove her kids, I sat there all day and helped her clean her trailer park up, her mobile home up. And
they still denied them to her.
Oh no! They told me I was wrong for doing it. I said, wait a minute, hold on. I said, if we have a chance not to get the children removed from home, I thought our job was to create a safe haven, which is their home, to show them what to do. Lady had never been in trouble a day in her life, but somebody called on her all because of a neighbor dispute type of shit.
Oh wow.
And they tell you that in the academy. Most of the calls is general neglect. It has nothing to do with child abuse and none of that. It's basically a somebody that's got a fucked up house or apartment, trashy, or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
But I got in trouble for it, for helping them.
Well, family, we about to shut it down. It's almost 1 a.m. where I am at. I had to get my individuals up at 5:30. So blessings and thanks to all my fellas. I just love when my guys be up here with me like this. Thank you to Mr. Bass. Thank you to Sir Miguel, J Rock, Big Vat. My boy Milton didn't come in on tonight. He's still working, you all. They had him running on today. But anywho, that concludes the end of our live for tonight. Tune in again on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Shout out, thanks, and blessings to all my moderators as well as everyone in the comment section. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Peace, love, blessings to you all. Thank y'all so much, fellas. Mwah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you for having me.
Kings, y'all have a great night. Queen, have a great night. God
All right.
willing, you open your eyes tomorrow, you have a chance to make a difference.
All right. Amen.
Bless everybody on the channel.
All right. And
Amen.
blessings, love. Good night, True Be
All
Told
right.
family. Blessings.
Good night, you
Peace.
guys. Peace.